lie with the words you say. You wanna lock me down, I wanna run away. Your twisted fantasy can't keep your hands off me. You knew I'd let you in. You knew how much I need. Danger, danger, danger. You're danger, danger. Don't let me down. Danger, danger, danger. You're danger, danger. Don't let me down. Feel like there's no escape. Lie here and suffocate. You like to push me around while I try not to break. You love the things I say. You love the way I'm begged. If I showed all my sins, you turn and walk away. I feel you in my bones. You were all I know. Skin to skin. I feel you in my bones. You were all I know. Skin to skin and hand to throw. Danger, danger. staring at the end, but I will not give in. I will fight until the end. We're staring at the end, but I will not give in. I will fight until the end. The story's getting old. Turn the blood out while it unfolds. Why do I feel so cold? It was somewhere along the way. Colors turned into gray and I felt it. Why am I to stay? Something's wrong, it's controlling my mind. Makes me numb and it turns me blind. I'm losing now. I'm losing it. The sea has changed, the dark takes hold. Need to stop from caving in. Can't catch my breath 'cause I feel so cold. Silence the voices from within. Silence the voices from within. I chill running down my spine. It's trying to tell me to fold my hand and quit. I'm out of time. Something's wrong, it's controlling my mind. Makes me numb and it turns me blind. Just show me why. I have to stay. The sea has changed, the dark takes hold. Need to stop from caving in. Can't catch my breath 'cause I feel so cold. Silence the voices from within. Scar from a past I can't erase. A hole in my chest I can't replace. But I can feel it in my bones. I still feel it beneath the skin. Feel it beneath my skin. Oh, I try to run away, but it grabs hold of me. I feel myself decay. It takes me under and I can't breathe.
Folks, welcome to the EU Challenger Elite Day 3 for your Stage 4 matchups. My name is Seymour. Alongside me is Cruz and Spaz the dashing man himself. And oh boy, do we have quite a bit of matches for you today. This is where everything's kind of tightening down and grouping up for these matches. A lot of knockouts, relegations, and secured spots for playoffs are going to be sought after with these up-and-coming matchups. So, Cruz, the matches we're covering, it's going to be quite the story across these teams, as we do start off with, on the community stream, Mavericks versus Amelia Strays, followed by Los Pepes versus Elevate. On the mainstream, they are going to be having Los Pepe versus Originals, then followed up with Maverick versus Team Wars. So some epic matches across the board for everybody. But focusing on the community stream, Cruz, these are some pretty great teams that are ahead of us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Amelia's, they're kind of fighting for their lives right now after last stage. They came in super hot, kind of an unknown team last stage. They come in the dark horses. They end up winning out the whole stage, make that roster change going into this stage where they drop Nuke J for Wardy, have not nearly found the same success here in this stage so far for themselves. And I mean, they're kind of at a point now, 1-3, where they're pretty much facing relegation. They kind of need to win from this point on. And then if you're looking at Mavericks, they're coming in 2-2. They've looked really, really good so far. And then they've also had some matches where they've looked really, really rough. So they need to come out with a couple wins for themselves here today, so that they can try to find themselves into a spot where they're not going to be in a situation where they might get relegated as well.
No, I'm so glad that we're talking about these roster changes too, because both Amelia and Mavericks has made some. They're both finding different success as well between the two of them. I mean, Mavericks, like you say, 2-2, Amelia 1-3, and this is a good chance for Mavericks as well with their matches today to maybe bump themselves up into a secured spot for the playoffs and Challenger Elites. So this stage 4 really kind of wrapping up on this day 3. And it's all going to start here with Mavericks versus Amelia. Let's hop into this matchup. Number 1 is going to be Checkmate Hardpoint. And after this, Miami Search and Destroy. Map 3 will be Raid Control. And if the distance comes to it, it will be an Apocalypse Hardpoint and a Moscow S&D to close out this one. But let's dive into this cruise as these teams are ready to play. Checkmate Hardpoint, map number 1. Mavericks going to be hopping in with the less preferred side as we're hopping on with Eric Boom as well. SMG player to get up close and personal. But with the split kill feeds at the moment, Mavericks and Amelia just staying neck and neck.
I mean, just looking at these two teams and what they've done so far here on Checkmate Hardpoint going into like this series so far, at least in stage 4, it's been two very different stories as well. Like, Amelia has been 0-2 so far to start off here. Mavericks 2-0. So, Mavericks, this has been one of their stronger maps for themselves. They're definitely going to be looking to try to carry some of the momentum, start off very hot in this. But I mean, Amelia off to a very good start here so far for themselves. Already 15 seconds on the hill, holding on to good side spawns. And I mean, you can see the side of Mavericks, they're trying to put a lot of pressure right now on those bottom side spawns to try to flip these out. But I mean, really, they just haven't really been able to find anybody out yet.
Not at all, as Piero does find a big kill off screen. It's Super trying to make that move, but he ends up falling as well. So Amelia, so far, so good, coming up with not just the majority of time off of P1, but setting up for this P2 as well, as Piero loses the fight into plane. It's going to provide Mavericks with this opening, shut down by Wardy, the AR of Amelia. And this is a team that we were talking about as well, that we need to start seeing have some life breathing into their lungs. Because into this day, like you say, facing relegations, this team won stage 3 elites. Let's not forget their Cinderella story. And with this change into the roster, we haven't seen too much. So looking to bounce back immediately. And in Checkmate, so far, they're looking stand out for the early time. As Sukri does take down Piero, it is going to provide Mavericks with that chance to split this matchup.
And yeah, I think it's also equal to say that, yes, Mavericks are 2-0 on this, and Amelia is 0-2, but every map that all these teams have played against each other have been extremely close so far. So very, I mean, it's the EU COD scene, right? Everybody is very close to each other. Everybody know how to play very good fundamental COD, but Amelia Strays, they've come out with a really, really good start to this game. They've held on to P1 or P2 spawns, been able to flip it over, hold on to them for the majority of the time here, and so far they've only allowed 12 seconds to the side of Mavericks off the rip. Mavericks are gonna have to answer with a good hold of their own soon before they get put into a very deep hole that they don't want to be in.
Not at all, but P3 is where they're looking to change it out. Nobody gaining time just yet, as Chaxter just right around the corner. Somebody dips onto the point. It's going to be a go-ahead for Chaxter to go contested. So in he goes, spots out Eric Boom as well, winning his gunfight. So he's going to hop on for a few seconds. But most importantly for Amelia, he's denying time for Mavericks, as Piero doing the exact same thing. Sukri not able to step on this point just yet, as he finally does. Wardy going to take that fight, but Sukri on his head pops up from the ground, and those are kills to Maverick. Give him quite a bit of time here to bounce back.
And yeah, this is a hill that you don't normally see a lot of teams find a good amount of time on, but Mavericks so far doing a great job here, getting a good amount of time. They should honestly, barring a late contention, and it does end up coming in from Chaxter, so he will be able to hop on and contest that last bit of time there, stop Mavericks from getting over the 40-point mark. They do end up only amasking 30 here, and if we're looking over towards the rotations, you can already see Amelia. They are pretty much set up over here towards this new here. Piero will be the first player to hop into the hill as well. And now Mavericks, all these players are spawning out on one side. They got to try to get some play control to break into this.
Piero around the corner. You do see Eric Boom taking the first stance into this. Finds a double kill as well to hop into this point. So Mavericks starting to find some footing here. The kill is starting to go their way. That's 3 in a row for Eric Boom. And as he's pushing the aggression, Piero's going to take that gunfight in. SMG is going to reign true for the side of Amelia. But what they're losing out on is some beautiful objective time that is being soaked up by Sukri himself. He's Super trying to be a nuisance in the backline with a few one-on-ones, distracting the half of Amelia in the backline. Going to find another pick on the Chaxter as well, but not yet disrupting this spawns in their favor. So Amelia Strays holding on to this so far.
And that break from Eric is so big off the bat because, I mean, Amelia was pretty much set up to try to get a full 60 here, and him being able to just jump in and contest for at least 20 seconds there. It was a good amount of congestion time to really just stop Amelia from building that lead up bigger and bigger from where it once was. They were only able to get, 20, 30 points on that hill. So Mavericks, they're going to be looking to try to answer back one more time with this hit down low. But with all 4 players on the side of Amelia down here and close, they will find the final kill and completely flip these spawns out from the side of Mavericks. So, I mean, Amelia, they're doing exactly what they need to do on this map right now to get a good lead.
And Super, the closest one up, finally dropping as well. So this is everything going right for the Amelia Strays roster. One thing that we were highlighting pre-game is that if they want to take this win over Mavericks, they have to take that odd hard point, win some searches against this team, and really just play overall stellar COD day in, day out. We need to see the fundamentals here, and so far, they have been showing their best as Watson gets punched out by Eric Boom. It is going to be some time to Mavericks for the late little scrap. And Amelia Strays, as they're spawning into the top left corner, they're going to have to make quite the trek just to get into this plane to connect back into this point 1. But we know this team and how good they are at breaking in through these points. And honestly, if I was them, I would be taking some sights to just the contention and make sure that you're spreading yourself to get the spawn flips as well. You see number 5 off screen. That is Watson doing that as he takes control of the left side of the wing. You're going to see a spawn out from Mavericks.
And I mean, if you're Mavericks, I think you kind of got to be a little bit worried at this point. This is Amelia Stray's worst game mode at 1-5 right now in this season. So definitely not somewhere where you want to be to a team who has not had a great success on hardpoint in general. Mavericks is coming out very slow here in this game. They will finally now hop in towards towards P1. Yeah, and start to get a good amount of time. But once again, it's going to be Amelia Stray with the good side rotation and spawns, trying to set up for another good P2 hold.
That's exactly what you want to see him play for. Now, Shaxter is going to take for a dip of this time. Now, hops into the point, takes out a first line of Eric Boom. Me dipping his shoulder around the corner to see Vickle, but ultimately going to let him go to Wardy, his new member on the roster. As finally, Mavericks break back in, only for a couple seconds as well. Amelia Strays looking to hold on once more and break this game even farther with the .2 hold that they have. But look at the back. Eric Boom has found his way there. You see 3 Sukri spawns up next to him, loses his gunfight, so not able to make anything out of it. But still, Eric Boom out here. They know where he is. They're hunting him down. But what kind of a mess can he make? Nothing at all. But he's provided the time for his teammates Sukri and Super to get into the mix, do a little bit of damage to this team, and even uproot Amelia from this time. So Sukri now just looking to stay alive in the backline. He's got quite the one-on-one, swaps to his secondary, takes the first fight, and he's just being such a nuisance back here. Goes for more, but he's just shouldering these teammates or shouldering these players again and again.
I mean, he just bought Maverick so much time to be able to get into this hill from the front, and it's exactly what they're going to be able to do now. Only 15 seconds will go to their name, though, but still better than them giving it up to the side of Amelia. And here they go. They need to try to make a rotation over, and it's going to be Eric Boom one more time. He's been the playmaker so far for the side of Mavericks. Yes, only 19 and 20, but still leading the way for their team in terms of slaying. And, I mean, they're going to need to keep it up here if they want to be able to come back into this game. Still down 70 seconds as we look to head over towards P3, but this is where we saw them get the most amount of time in that last set of rotations.
I think what's good for Mavericks after that point, too, is that they didn't really allow Amelia Strays to gain any more of a lead than they already had. So staying a little bit even off that point is what you'd like to see from them. Now, Super is going to be soaking a little bit of this time, even win his fight onto Chaxter. So it's going to give Mavericks an advantage here and then try to claw themselves back into this game with the amount of map positioning that they have. So still 30 seconds to have on this point. As Super notices the contention coming out, has Vickle right behind him. Going to win out on a gunfight with this AR as well, but it's going to see the break from Amelia Strays hop on in with a double kill. And combined with that, Vickle with his teammate Super on a 5 spree to break back into it. So Amelia Strays starting to lose their footing here. It's Mavericks clawing their way back in.
And they've got Amelia, the spawning out quite deep right now, too. So they can get a good setup here for this P4 hill to try to claw their way back into this game. They've really just been splitting time on a lot of these last couple of hills. The lead really hasn't risen or fallen on at least the last 3 or 4. So they're definitely going to be looking to try to bring it back here for themselves. And you can already see Vickle underneath the plane. He's really trying to do it. But again, Amelia Stray, they'll break in from the left side and they'll be able to hop into the hill.
I'm pretty sure they even shut Super down. So no streaks for himself, and they're keeping it over a 40-point lead, which, like you say, nothing's really risen or shortened for these players. But Amelia Strays now look at their map control. They have plane control, they have yellow control, and they even have the point in their hands. So Piero gets spotted out on an off angle. Super to take him down, but the front line holding strong with Chaxter with a double. As you see, the rebuttal is 3 for Mavericks as they take that plane control, and you can see Eric Boom pushing for a little bit extra real estate on the left side of your mini map. Hops into cardboard right around his corner. He's not going to expect it. Wardy to take him down, denies anything from himself.
Both times through to P4 that we've seen so far, it's only been 1 or 2 players from the side of Mavericks who have been the players who have hopped on in. But Super may have gotten behind. He's able to get 1. Can he get the second on Shaxter? He does. So that might be able to just flip these spawns out. But I mean, look at Amelia Stray. They're still going to spawn up fairly close. And with Mavericks not have all being reinforced that hill, Amelia Stray can still try to fight this from the front.
Vickle now on that half wall. You see all the kills going to Amelia as Wardy combines for 3, 27 and 20. The new kid on the block for Amelia Stray is really showing his worth here on Checkmate. They've broken through 200 points. Now it's time for them to look for the long haul and take this one home. Only 40 points or 30 points now needed for them to take this map number 1. And you can see that Amelia Strays, they're scrapping this P5, it looks like, and they're just setting up for the better half of this map.
I don't even blame them at all. You only have 13 seconds left on this. Why not throw a body or 2, try to contest? And actually, they will go for the scrap time here. So they will get these last 10 seconds while they have 1 player set up in Watson inside the next hill. So, I mean, it's going to have to be picture perfect COD for Mavericks from this point on.
It's all going to start with Vickle here. Hops in, checks the wrong corner, but luckily sneaks his way into the corner, so he's able to get at that contention. Super with the pinch for him is going to break open that plane. So now Mavericks in control of time for P1. Vickle's holding the front, Super's holding the back, and you see their teammates slaying around just to gain a little bit more around this for this control. Sukri hops up onto the wing right behind Watson, pushes him right into Eric Boom for an excellent 1-2 punch on that player now. As Mavericks cutting this down, but is this enough? They're holding on with threads.
I mean, I'm not too big a fan of Amelia just giving up the time, and they could have had just a full setup like you were calling out, and instead they decide to hit for the scrap time, get those last 10 seconds on P4 or on P5. They will finally hop on into this hill and contest, but that's a lot of time that they were able to give to Mavericks when they could have just set up and tried to win, and now Sukri might be able to flip these spots out.
Oh, and he wins an excellent third onto Jackster. That completely gives up the top of the minimap all to Mavericks. You can see him taking a little bit of forward positioning as well onto NASA with Super right above him now. The combination from Mavericks from P1 to P2 looking so good. They just have to win their gunfights from here on out. And yes, that might sound just a little easier said than done, as Wardy just doesn't seem like he is missing right now. 29 and 23 for himself. They just have to deny this space. Piero with a second one. You see a player spawning out. Wardy now to go down the slide from Vickle with the secondary. I was not going to find that kill, but the flank from Eric Boom now to put a little bit of a damper in this hit. The contention's there. Everything from Amelia Strays on board for P2. And now Sukri looking to do that hero play one more time as only 16. Now 15 seconds needed for Amelia Strays to put this through. Jackster slides through yellow. Takes down an extra one. Super is going to go down as well. Nobody close enough to contest this as Shaxter finally finds that nail in the coffin. Amelia Stray is going to come out with a big map number 1 win on Checkmate Hardpoint.
I got a lot closer than Amelia Stray absolutely would have wanted it to, though. They 100% had every chance in the world to be able to take this map a little bit earlier on for themselves. All they really, realistically, like we were calling from that P5 to P1 rotation, was just set up for P1 and said, this is the exact play right here where they decide, hey, you know what, let's hit for scrap, grab those last 10 seconds. Of course, it does work out for them at the very end of the map, but I mean, realistically, if they don't get that break at the very end of the game, that could have been a really big blunder and almost a thrown map away for them.
I mean, Mavericks was just one good hard point away from taking that one back. So a blunder indeed, but they just deny it now. And this is a story that we're kind of building up. We didn't get to touch on it as the players jumped into this game a little bit early, but we were talking about how hard points are going to be big for this team as it is their worst map or their worst mode out of all 3 that we're going to be seeing. The fact that Amelia Strays comes out swinging with a map 1 victory over Mavericks shows how dangerous this team can be. And yes, Wardy comes into this roster. They have a little bit of trouble in the past couple of weeks, but now into day 3, it looks like they're firing on all cylinders and ready to go. So map number 2 coming into it, Search and Destroy up next and heading to a Miami as well. This team looking to sneak something away from Mavericks all in all.
And another thing that we were kind of touching on going into this, when me and you were at least talking before, was that the side of Mavericks, they are 4-2 at Search and Destroy. So definitely a little bit stronger than the side of Amelia, but Amelia also 2-2. Search and Destroy has been their strongest game mode. Now, interestingly enough, the map that we're heading to in Miami is one map that neither team has played yet. So no film on each other going into this as well. So that should definitely be interesting leading into this map. And I mean, I feel like this one could still honestly go either way with how both of these teams are in Search and Destroy.
And it's what you're looking at a map like Miami, which some people will be like, oh, it's the hide and seek. Standoffs coming in, so maybe we'll see something change up in a few weeks. But right now, we get to stick with what we got. And honestly, Miami Search and Destroy for what we're looking at, it seems like the right place to go to for these teams. I mean, something I was talking about is Wardy in that map number 1. His AR was on point, and if he can keep that up in this map too, he's going to be a stellar player to watch out for into it and for the success of Amelia Strays here. As we are talking about the mix up for these rosters and how they're all shaping into this day 3, and talking about how Amelia Strays avoiding relegation is big for this day 3. They have to pretty much win both of their matchups today, which is going to be tough. As if I look here, they do have Hot Tub Meta. I love that name. Hot Tub Meta is the
Me
next
too. I
matchup
was like,
on this day. So if they can come out with a big win on Mavericks and then go into their second series firing on all cylinders, I have to say, I think Amelia Strays are looking good here.
and it's even crazier to think too, because yes, Mavericks are coming into this 2-2 and feeling a little bit more comfortable with Amelia at 1-3. But if Amelia take this map, both teams are going to be 2-3 and in that exact same situation of each other. So just as much a must-win map or series for the side of Mavericks as it is for Amelia. So, like you said, man, it is definitely one of those situations where one of these two teams they need to come out and they need to be getting some of these wins, and it's that case for a lot of the teams. Like even the 2 matches that are going on the mainstream for now as well. Both those teams are sitting at 2-2 as well. So, or sorry, all 4 of those teams actually are sitting at 2-2 going on the main stage today on that mainstream. So should definitely be really interesting. This whole EU scene is just absolutely crazy, Seymour.
Everything's neck and neck, Jesse. I mean, I don't know what to expect at the end of this. And yes, like you were saying, on the mainstream, we're going to be seeing other banger matchups as well. And if you go to youtube.com/COD Challengers, you can go see the 3 dynamic trio of casters wonderfully over there on the mainstream, casting over Lost Pepe versus Originals, and then Mavericks versus Team War later on in the day. So we're literally neck and neck throughout the whole time. And I have to say, with an S&D victory here, there's a chance that Amelia Strays just might avoid relegation in this tournament, looking to go 3-3 on the day. But let's talk about Miami Search and Destroy here. As after seeing that map 1 checkmate, what was the downfall you would say from the side of Mavericks in that map 1?
Well, I mean, I don't think you could put it on Super or sorry, on Sucre or Eric Boom. I think both those 2 players played very well to their own standards. Eric was finding a ton of openings, especially in the top of the plane with that submachine gun. So if he's able to do a lot of that towards the piano room, they could absolutely find a lot of, or towards the garage, they could absolutely find a lot of success for themselves here on a map like Miami. But I think for themselves here, I think it's got to be up to the new guy. It's got to be up to Vickle. You got to prove your self-worth on this team. Start coming out slaying. He would put up an okay amount of numbers, but nothing to the side of where Amelia was going in that first game. So I think we need to see a stronger game out of Vickle here in this.
Oh, I couldn't agree. I mean, Vickle coming into this roster in the past couple of weeks for Mavericks really showing. I mean, what was it that Infinity said the other week? Is it's almost like the tiny terrors of Europe between Vickle
Him
and
Eric Boom
coming into this. And I honestly, I can't deny that that's just the case. And if Vickle is not playing up to par, like we're kind of pointing it out that he should be playing, they're gonna ultimately fall. And to a team like Amelia Strays, that's not what you want to see from the side that's been looking so good in the past in past tournaments. To fall in this day would be quite the damper on their legacy, you would say. So into the Search and Destroy, I couldn't agree more that I'm looking also on Vickle to just kind of open up some opportunities for the side of Mavericks to make some big plays or make some fundamental plays.
Absolutely. And I think on the other side as well, I think you got to look at Wardy as well. Be that main AR for, or being one of the main ARs here for Amelia, because it is one of those moments in a COD game where we have a nice little 2-2 split where it's 2 ARs, 2 submachine guns. But he needs to be that player here. I don't know if he'll be the player out by the beach watching over everything, or if he'll be the player maybe sitting in mid watching over mid. But he needs to make sure he's finding his kills for the side of Amelia Stray. He was able to do that in the map 1. They were able to come out on top. I think it's really up to him. He was the player coming in new to this team. So you got to think, hey, if there is something wrong, maybe it's got to be on Wardy. So able to come out strong in that first game, he's got to continue it here if they want to be able to take this map too for themselves.
Every single time we talk about like a Miami or a checkmate, and I'm so glad that we're not getting a triple dose of checkmate today.
Oh my God.
Like again and again, but I cannot wait till standoff comes out to see these see these teams play on standoff would be so good on a search and destroy. But ultimately, I mean, we were talking about how fundamental these EU teams look, and to move over to a map that's have so much veteran just prowess on it, like standoff, would be ultimately great to see. But I mean, going to Miami, it's grown on me as well. Miami, I won't lie. The Vegas or the Vice City lights are just something to watch out for. In this map too, it's going to be big as well. As this is a map that a lot of teams have potential upsets on. But ultimately, is a map that creates so many potential upsets, and it is because of the A site. The A site with a long beach rotation is going to be big. And when you're talking about a player like Wardy with that AR rifle, we were highlighting Vickle to take space, open up some routes, but that's where Wardy comes into position. And you're looking at him to deny that space, to shut down these routes that a player like Vickle will look at. A player like Vickle will try to kind of sneak his way in through. And I think it's going to be quite the matchup between these two players. But we are missing out on one of the 8 to play in this matchup. So we're going to throw it to a quick little break while we get him into this. As soon as we get this last player in, we'll hop into the search and destroy. But for just now, we are going to hop off this. We'll hop in as soon as he's in.
You forget who you are inside, like everyone else. You believe the lies.
Is it still on us?
You lied to my face, said you declined. I've heard it said
Thank you. I was like,
1,000 other times. No sense of feeling here. Your thoughts become stay alive. I know you're terrified. Just breathe, survive. Give up the guilt inside. Stay alive. I see through your disguise. Two worlds collide. Let's live to see the other side.
Folks, we are back with map number 2 in this first matchup for the EU community casting in stage 4. So we do see Amelia Strays leading 1-0 after a checkmate hardpoint victory, heading into Miami search and destroy, looking to keep that momentum forward as we're hopping on board with Wardy. They're looking like they want to go for the B side, which we don't see too often right off the rip these days.
No, and it's interesting that they go towards B right off the rip, like you said. And the reason we don't see it too often is because there's no trophies down at this stage in the game either. So nades and stuns could be a huge impact on this round for themselves here. And it's going to be a 4-hit through the middle, but Vickle is set up and prowling.
Oh, you wanted to see him go off. Spots Shaxter. Nobody checks it. That's bombed down, but almost getting caught on his teammate. He wants to go for seconds, but they're just barely holding on to their lives here in the garage. Watson going to find that trade onto Super. And Super, who's actually taking out this SMG, is rotating all the way around to the alleyway. Bomb has yet to go down for Amelia Strays with 28 seconds left. They know Vickle's in bar. Don't know exactly where Sukri is as they're starting to pinch onto Wardy here. Dips out with his life. And the bomb goes down. Post plants here for Amelia Strays. You're looking at Mavericks for the retake, and kill on Piero is a good start.
And Wardy's in a great spot for this, but that bomb is not really, it doesn't look like it's planted for him to be able to get this kill. So Watson's going to need to make a big play, try to find one of these kills. And actually, Wardy's going to pick up 2. Wardy gets all 3! Oh my God, that's huge. That spot that he's in at the back towards this area. We're gonna get to see it in the final kill cam here, but it's so big for being able to get these players off of the bomb. He finds the first, finds the second, and it just gives you so much cover. And even Sukri with the cover after, he can't stop Wardy at the very end there.
Well, I think that Sukri was doing the right thing going for the pinch, but they weren't expecting that flank through closet. And as soon as the flank comes in, the team shot for the first one, you see that Wardy doesn't take too much damage off that first interaction. So when Sukri turns around, he's like, what just happened? He's like, I got nothing going my way. So last kill comes through, almost flawless round for Amelia Strays, except for the Jackster and Piero who come out, who die in that round. But bomb goes down, like you say, and you get the kills that they need to. But looking in tandem, Mavericks looking to do the exact same thing with the exception of Sukri sitting in the middle of the map watching crosses.
And Piero's in a much better position here for the side of Amelia as well than where you had anybody on Mavericks in that last round. Everybody on Mavericks, where they were kind of set up in towards top piano, and that's the positioning that you want where Piero is. He's able to find the first kill in the back of the alley. And I mean, now you've got Chaxter up top piano, and really all these players on Mavericks, they're kind of trapped in here. And Chaxter's going to find some more information. So now you can see Mavericks, they're trying to put the positioning towards middle of the map to get out of this spot.
Oh, but Sukri swapping to the air in round 2, showing that flex potential, finds first blood, combines with the second blood as well with Vickle to back him up, puts the player advantage back in favor of Mavericks as they collect this bomb. Super is going to be looking to drop it, but Amelia Strays now, they had a pinch forming, all up to Watson now in the back of the map here. Takes the first one-on-one onto Sukri, successfully making it a 1v2, but bomb down now. Super's going to be sitting in the garage, and his counterpart Vickle in that half wall, peeking through this closet, taking quite a bit of damage, down to 60, just dip, dodge, dive, duck. Everything that you can ask for from him. It is a game of dodgeball and nothing else in the second round of Search and Destroy. As you see Mavericks back up, play the proper angles, set up for a pinch, and you walk into the death trap. That's a 1-1 with a perfect take from Maverick.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was able to find just the right amount of timing there, but not going to be the case. Watson did spot Vickle cross, but like you said, it was just a really good setup. Once they were able to get the 2 kills in the middle of the map, push back in towards B, once they get that bomb down, it's really easy in a 1 versus 3 there. There's really just nothing that the side of Amelia Stray could do. I mean, we always say it, but those 1vx situations are just always so tough to be able to come up against. And now we can see what Amelia decides to do here on offense. Last time through, they decided to go towards the B site, looking like much of the same here, at least off the bat. Going to be a little bit of a split, though, not sending all 4 players over towards B this time. But Mavericks are going with that same setup back into the top of piano.
And Watson doing exactly what Sukri did last time, setting up on the bank truck. But actually, he's going to back on through. Back up his teammates, reinforce this attack to the B-side garage a little bit longer. And Wardy is way far away from this setup, so he is banking on the players to cross for him to get, but he's going to get some poor timing in the situation that he's at. Amelia Stray is getting some utility out of Mavericks for the time being. As Vickle is just waiting to see some people. Swastletoes of Piero, going to chomp at them a little bit, not find the kill, and his counterpart, Super, all the way down alley, is going to find first blood onto Watson. And Vickle's just going to stay pretty right next to him as Super's just getting all the glory here. And Sukri, who snuck his way into the backline, finds Wardy finally, who has nothing to show for the off angle that he had. As Piero now, that 1vx situation looks so out of turn here. 1v4 walks right into piano and loses his life. Mavericks 2 in a row.
And yeah, I mean, Wardy's back there to just try to watch mid get any of these players crossing, but the issue is they couldn't get the bomb down thanks to the crossfire here from Vickle and Super. They completely shut everything down. So Wardy trying to get these players rotating over, it doesn't matter because nobody has to rotate over because this bomb never ends up going down. And just a great play there from the side of Mavericks to shut that whole entire push down. And Amelia Stray just not off to the best start for themselves here so far in this game.
No, not at all. And I mean, I don't think Amelia Strays had the right idea for that push. I mean, they were really stuck into garage. Yes, they were trying to sap Mavericks of all their utility inside on that B site, but ultimately Wardy had such a passive angle that Sukri snuck in, found the kill onto him, and there was nothing to show for anything Amelia had set up. But Chaxter this time going to be taking a forward angle onto Bar, but he's a little bit late, so you see Mavericks getting there first. He's going to spot the corner. Eric Boom going to go down first. Looking for the trade, though. Vickle going to be that guy. It makes it even 3 apiece.
Well, here we go, though, now. So Amelia, they don't have that crossfire set up either, though. So Mavericks, they can try to get this bomb in towards B, but it's not even where the bomb is going. The bomb heads over towards the boat, and Watson may have read this play perfectly as he's going to be set up on the boats.
We see this again and again. all the time from teams, just sending that one bomb player to the A side while everybody distracts over at B. But Watson has read this so well, and I'm sure Sukri has no idea either. But he is paying quite a bit of attention, and Watson gets that information, plays the trigger discipline, lets Wardy take care of it. That's bomb down now, but instead, it's Vickle who snuck his way, finding another trade on his name. Super going to back him up as well. Now Watson all alone, 20 seconds. He doesn't know bomb is down either.
Well, you might
I don't even think he saw it either, so he's going to take the gunfights to Super. Super from a distance with that 74U is going to give Mavericks 3 in a row.
I was going to say, yeah, he might have saw it, but he was probably just tunnel vision there. But we're going to get to see what opens up this entire round here. It's Super. He's able to grab the second kill, and then they know the position of Watson as soon as he spots him right here. And it's very unfortunate, but they're able to drop him out. And I mean, that round was looking oh so good for the side of Amelia right in the middle of the round. And then just everybody ends up falling around that B bomb site. And now you've got to be worried about Super, who's on 5 in a row, looking to try to build towards some streaks. I would imagine he's probably just going to play an off angle here and just try to find another kill or two towards these streaks.
This is something to talk about that we did highlight earlier, Cruz, is that, I mean, Search and Destroy is both of these teams' best map, except Mavericks just a little bit better, and it's showing in the score line now. Super on a 5 spree, looking for those streaks. But he's losing out on Vickle across the map. That was a beautiful shot from Piero with that assault rifle, and Nade not going towards where Super wants it to be. He's going to back off that aggressive side, and they know Sucre's here. He's going to have to pop up, play a little bit of groundhog. Chaxter's going to put him right back down to the dirt. They try to spam him out of this position, try to get everything there, but the trophy's doing such a good job. And Watson, with one less player, is going to find that route open. Now make it 2 less players as Sucre finally drops as well. It's Super all alone. He's got to play for the streaks. I mean, a 1v4, you know they're going to hunt him down, but can he just get that extra utility? Some shots down range on the Wardy, but not going to find it. Nothing to say for that round as Amelia Strays shut down the momentum.
Not a big fan of that challenge either at the very end. I feel like in that situation, you absolutely need to be playing streaks if you're Super there. And yeah, he tries to get the kill, but I mean, that's a really, really tough gunfight to win on the player on the boats there. So, I mean, not the biggest fan of that play. You're on 5 in a row. Maybe just back up, play towards the back of the street. See if any of the players on Amelia get too aggressive there. Yes, you might end up giving up a bomb plant and allowing the bomb to go off. But, I mean, if you can find streaks, especially on a map like this where streaks can be so heavily used, I feel like that's a little bit of a misplay there for Mavericks.
I mean, you can see, as hard as it is for a shot for Super to hit, it's as much of a tough situation for Watson to take that gunfight as well. So, I mean, if Super comes out with that, then he wins that first gunfight, expects the close second gunfight, locks down those streaks, but just not going to happen the way he expected it. And look at Watson here. Once again, right back to the boat. Even put shots down onto Eric, almost finding first blood, but he has to be careful for his own life as he drops to 27 health. That's going to show Mavericks rotating all the way back through Hotel, back to the B site as Super is just laying in wake, just waiting for his teammates to reinforce him for this hit.
Completely halts the push of Mavericks going over towards that B site. Now they're going to have to push their focus over towards B. You can see player 8, Super. He is trying to push up his way in through the garage, but there are still 2 players here. It's Piero. He might be able to find the first blood, but no, it will be Vickle in the top.
You see the secondary Chaxter, nothing as well. Sukri, D-Body's going to find that one, the B site completely given up. There's going to be a plant towards Docks. And as soon as it goes down there, I mean, we saw what it was like for Amelia Strays in that round 1 victory that they had. Super this time going to be playing on that power position as Watson's going to try to make the rotation all the way through the middle of the map. Going to be shut down by Eric Boom, and it's all up to Wardy. Another 1v4 for this. As we've seen that quite a bit on Miami today. I mean, it's just been almost a domino effect in every single round. It's just 1v4 after 1v4, and it's just not what you like to see out of these teams. As you see, Wardy, I think he wants to get out of this map, but I don't know if you can.
Yeah, he's really trying. He just wants to jump off the map. He does not want to give up this bomb, the bomb exploding, but doesn't look like he's going to get the situation where he can hop over that wall. So with 5 seconds left, the bomb will go off now. I mean, that round's just a great round from Mavericks. They try to push over towards the B site. They see Wardy over towards the A site. They see Wardy out by boats, and they say, hey, you know what? Screw that. We don't need to push this guy. Let's push back over towards A. They absolutely do, and they're able to find the rest of the kills over in that garage, get the bomb down, and honestly just make that round a lot easier for themselves there.
Well, you saw Piero sitting on the top of those stairs for Piano, playing a really aggressive angle for an AR player. I would have expected Chaxter to get that trade immediately, but he falls to Sukri, so another 1-2 punch from Mavericks that just gets their way onto the site. So now heading into round number 7, Mavericks up 4-2. looking to bounce back in the series and tie us up one apiece between these squads. As Watson hops up onto the bus. I don't know if he actually saw all three players, but he saw quite a bit. And he's going to put some shots into some. So information Amelia nonetheless. You see Chaxter working with his teammate Piero on these assault rifles just to get a little bit closer. Vickle also an AR in his hand. I think every single player has an AR in this round. I would not be surprised if that is the case, as Vickle taking a lot of heat from utility as he is just side by side with Chaxter.
And I mean, Amelia, they're trying to make a very similar play to what they did last time through. Watson being that player who's going to make that late flank, but he's just by himself now as Vickle will find all the kills and Watson will end up falling. So that was the player I was going to highlight in the back of the alley, as well as Mavericks. They do make an adjustment so Watson can't make that big flank play through the back this time. And it's Eric Boom who is watching that angle. But I mean, this whole round's on Vickle here. He's able to open up these 2 kills. But I mean, just a great defensive adjustment from the side of Mavericks to keep 1 player in back alley and send 3 over towards A and just completely shut that push down.
That play right there from Vickle, that's just stuff you can't teach. That's just stuff you can't teach at all. I mean, that is just some amazing movement from himself to get into that second player and get those shots down as well. Beautiful Call of Duty from Vickle in that round, puts him on 5. Now looking at the match here for Search and Destroy to tie us up 1 apiece. Chaxter making a quick play to the piano, but he's not going to expect Eric Boom to do the exact same thing, and Watson gets the better of Super in behind. He has to look to get out with his life on defense. You don't want to fall, or you don't want to give up player advantage.
I think that's the first time Mavericks have gotten that aggressive into piano off the start of the round, though. So I don't think Chaxter was in any way ready for that, but look at where Sukri's going. All by himself. He doesn't have the bomb or anything, but he's going to be able to get in behind every player on the side of Amelia. And with where he's going to set up, I would imagine this bomb is making the rotation over towards the A site now. And he should be able to catch out Wardy here. Yes, he does. In a fantastic position to try to close this map out and tie the series up.
Well, Sukri taking a beach day and the R&R paying off. Eric Boom now going to join him in the hotel as he gets behind Watson. And that is another 1vx here for Piero to keep Amelia in this. His bomb is not down. Piero has to go and make a play, but Maverick is playing the off angles, and you walk right into that 6-2 victory on Search and Destroy. Some beautiful Call of Duty from the side of Mavericks to bounce back here.
That last round was so weird. That last round was really, really weird. They decide to just play a bunch of different off angles and hit really weird late flanks where the defense would normally be hitting the flanks. But instead, the defense are the people who were getting flanked. So just a very weird round just in general there. But Amelia, like we said, their strongest mode has been Search and Destroy, especially over over the rest of their game modes. But just looking at that, Mavericks, they're just as strong at Search and Destroy, if not stronger. We got to see it there in that Search and Destroy for sure.
Well, that is going to guarantee us an Apocalypse hardpoint for map 4 now that the teams are tied 1-1. As we do take a look at the maps and modes for these teams for that map 1 victory on hardpoint, where Amelia Strays actually came out hot and ready. They took it 250 to 226 with a little bit of a lackluster end to it as they scrape away with that victory. And you do see them losing momentum into the Search and Destroy as well, Jesse, as they lose it quite convincingly 6-2 on Miami. Moving on into this Control, a game mode that both of these teams are pretty even in, 25% win percentage on cross for both of these teams. So this is going to be a big swing round for both squads.
Yeah, definitely not super impressive records for either team going into this map mode combo at, like you said, 1 and 3. So definitely both teams are going to be looking to get a little bit of a rebound here. But I think the one thing that we do need to be looking at is the fact that we are going to raid. Amelia does actually have a win on raid, where the side of Mavericks does not yet. So a little bit more reps maybe might be the advantage here for the side of Amelia, but like you said, both teams sitting at 1 and 3. I feel like this map is another one of those maps that really could go either way here in this series. And Raid Control, man, it's just one of those maps where if you play it fundamentally correctly, you can absolutely take it every single time.
Oh, 100%. I can see that happening, and coming out of these teams taking a little bit of a break prior to that. And while we get ready for this map number 3 Control, a little bit of a break, so stay tuned for some more EU COD Challengers.
Must have caught you somewhere underneath the surface. I don't know how, I only know I don't deserve this. I could not breathe, you would not Taking chances once in 1 in a million. I lose myself when I'm with you. I need space. I need space. I need space. I need space. I said I needed some space, 'cause I've got no time, got no patience. Living in fear and frustration, 'cause I'm still on your side. Yeah, I'm still on your side. I'm still on your side. Even though I need space. I need space. I need space. I need I did it to myself, I have no explanation. Twisted games and tricks, all tangled up and wasted. Double down in the bus, sucked into faking patience. Haunted dreams awake, still love to.
Folks, we're tied up, and if that doesn't say the series right now, draw is where we're at. 1-1 for either squad. Search and Destroy going the way of Mavericks. Hardpoint going the way of Amelia Strays. Now into this map number 3, we're hopping in with raid control for here, and as soon as these players get this lobby figured out, we'll hop right back in it in no time at all. But Jesse, we're talking about that map number 2, Search and Destroy. Quite the showing for Mavericks. As Vickle, we were highlighting beforehand, and he had quite the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were highlighting him. We said he needed to pop off for this team, and he absolutely does. He comes out. I think he finished right around 7-2. I can't remember exactly where he finished, but still a great map for himself for the Mavericks. Absolutely, what they needed to do to come back in the series, and I think we were highlighting it a lot more, especially in that map 1 between him and Eric Boom, where we were saying these guys really could be that Tiny Tears, that dynamic duo of the European region. And it's nice to see them back together. Eric Boom had a really good map 1. Vickle had a really good map 2. See if both these guys can pop off here on a raid control, because this is one of those maps where you absolutely can see some machine guns shine. So I'm really looking at these two players to be those pop off players for themselves.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because we're talking about. I mean, the SFG is just opening up those routes, and constantly at times in that Search and Destroy, it's just 1-2 punches, neck and neck for these two squads. I mean, countless times. I don't know. I can't count on my hand. I think. Well, I mean, I can because there's only so many. There's only 8 rounds in that search, but yeah, I can't count the amount of times there was a 1v4 situation or a 1v3 or a 1v2, as these teams were just constantly, as soon as they hit that gate, it was just go time for them as they wiped them. I mean, that just shows the SMGs who were opening up so many rounds on attack and on defense, finding the into bar, piano, whichever hit that you saw from them. And I think that into raid control, if they keep up that speed, the momentum, we're going to be seeing quite the bloodbath on this map number 3. And on a map like raid as well that we're heading into, I have to say that with that momentum on both teams, with the speed being shown, I think this is a good chance that this could be a round number 5. We see it again and again on a map like raid, as attack and defense, you see success for these teams. So it's really who's going to show what cards in this map 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, it's It's really going to come down to who's opening up the gunfights for their two teams here. And I think you hit the nail on the head too in that search and destroy when you said that it was a lot of really 1v4, 1v3 situations, which is just one of those things that's one of the reasons I love casting European COD so much, is because I find all these teams just play so fundamentally strong that once they get into those situations where they shouldn't lose, they very rarely do, at least from what I've gotten to cast from this point of the year on. So just definitely one of those things that you need to be looking towards a raid control as well, because this is one of those maps where fundamentals absolutely can just win you a map completely. You see it all the time in the CDL, especially with the Toronto Ultra. They play this map so fundamentally well, and that's why you see them come away so many times with a raid control win for themselves here. And I mean, you're going to be looking for one of these two teams at 1 and 3 to be coming down and just really trying to fundamentally outshine the other team here.
Oh, 100%. Now we're looking at raid control here, as you highlighted Vickle on the side of Mavericks in that game too. We highlighted Wardy on the side of Amelia Strays. Now into this map number 3, what are we looking at? Or who are we looking at to kind of break this game open in turn for this map 3?
I mean, I think Chaxter had a pretty quiet map too compared to his map 1. So maybe Chaxter needs to pick it up here again in a respawn. Yes, search and destroy might not be your best mode for yourself there, but just, I mean, just kind of bring it back for yourself here, bring it back out, and really show that AR up like you were in that first game. Because I mean, just as important as submachine guns are on this map, ARs holding down those long range lines of sights, top bedroom, in towards top laundry, just as important for themselves.
Oh, 100%. Well, these teams look like they're having a little bit of issues now with this map number 3. So we are going to head to a little bit of a break. When we come back, control will be underway. Folks, will be no time at all. Stay tuned. And here we are right into the mix, folks. This is map number 3, swing map, as both of these teams tied 1 apiece after the first 2 in this series. And you can see Amelia Stray starting on this attack, going for an immediate B hit. Watson, if he wins this one-on-one, they're going to have quite the control.
And yeah, this absolutely could end up being our swing map with Amelia taking that first hard point. Mavericks looking much stronger in that search and destroy. So honestly, whoever wins this map could end up being the team who comes out and takes this entire series for themselves. You can see Amelia already set up on this B hill. But I mean, Mavericks, they're making the quick flank in from behind. And look at the position of where Sukri is. This hill is probably going to get capped at this point on with 3 guys being able to hop onto it. Or actually, all 4 now. But Sukri's in a position where he could absolutely disrupt them on trying to rotate over towards A.
Your Mavericks, not the start that you want to have, but Sukrin, boom, combined for 3. You still get the secured point as Watson puts in that last set of progression. As Sukri looking to push the aggression now through zigzags. Chaxter is going to shut him down. You see Mavericks have taken their sights over to the A site, getting a forward positioning as well, setting up the chokehold and executing almost flawlessly as Wardy does find a little bit of a crack in the armor. Super is going to reinforce it and fill that gap, but what a shot punch from Chaxter to take down 2 with the help of Watson. Now looking to progress themselves onto this A site as Watson finding even more success on a 4 spree, about to get flanked, but he's Wardy watching his back to make sure that does not happen. And now that Wardy goes down, Watson's looking for 5 now, dancing with his counterpart, Eric Boom. He is going to find him, goes for 5, but Vickel's going to shut him down before anything gets out of hand. Now, Amelia strays in the 2 points of progression at A. Vickel walks in and shuts it off.
But it's Vickel again with the submachine gun going so big here for Mavericks. Really, really slow map 1, really good map 2 out of him. And I mean, he's continuing it here in map 3. Those kills are so opportune to completely shut down that push towards A. And now Mavericks, they can try to push forward, try to get set up again the way that they were so early on. But this time through, you can see Amelia, they're putting a little bit of a different hit and they don't want to go in towards Garage. They decide they want to make the hit up in through water subs.
Everything is slowed down, it seems, for Amelia Strays after the first set of hyper aggression. And as they walk back into the site, a team kill is not going to help them. And the crossfire that Maverick set up was so good for when they pulled out of pillars that they weren't expecting it. Now Piero holding his own through the middle of the map. You can see the rest of Mavericks pushing in through their own spawn as Super makes himself known through zigzag. He is going to find one, get out with his life, look for the 1-2 punch with his teammate Eric Boom, but instead opens up an opening for Amelia Strays to get through kitchen, get in behind them. But with 26 seconds left and 9 lives per team, this is starting to get dicey.
Yeah, and Amelia now taking their 3rd different attempt at breaking this from a different angle now. And you can see Mavericks, they're still all set up. The only positive here is Amelia, they can try to pinch these last 3 players. If they're able to find these kills and get onto the hill, they'll spawn Mavericks out towards basketball.
Vickel still being that nuisance in behind. Watson, shaky shots from Vickel. And it is going to be a split feed from either team. Wardy trying to get onto this point, but Sukri's going to shut him down. No more respawns and no more time. But the side of Amelia Strays is what started off as a great attacking round, dampered through the middle, and was completely shut out at the end by Mavericks. Just resistance and relentlessness.
And I mean, they did a great job too of once the side of Amelia, they were able to get that B site. You can see everybody on Mavericks. They got their exit kills, had then instantly rotated over towards A, got everybody set up. Yes, Amelia broke very quickly, but Maverick on their entry kills back into the hill, Vickel really led the way there, able to find multiple kills, open it back up, get back onto the hill. And then once they were able to set up a crossfire one more time on that hill, it was just like Amelia straight. They just couldn't break back in.
Mavericks looking for mid control, but Piero's gonna get the first blood. It's traded out by Eric. Does kind of take them over to the A site as they do journey on in there. They're gonna get the first tick of progression. Wardy trying to shut down as much as he can now, hopping into Laundry. He's gonna have a one-on-one immediately, and that's Vickel with the SMG, still raining terror over the squad. 6 and 6, make it 7 and 6. 2 for himself in this positioning, gonna provide a lot of map control as now Mavericks looking to put in this A site, and with the control that they do have, you just might give this up if you're Amelia.
Yeah, absolutely. You give this up now at this point. Watson's in a very important spot here, and you can see 2 players on Mavericks are trying to hunt him down, but he'll find them both in the back, and now he can continue just to try to, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. He's trying to wreak havoc in the spawn of the side of Mavericks right now. He does finally end up falling, but that slows down the push so much. It makes it so much harder for them to be able to make the rotation over towards that B site. They can now finally clear out their spawn and start to make the rotation over. But again, it's going to be Wardy, another player on Amelia, who's going to be trying to make a flank to the back.
Watson, 14 and 6. Looking for some more, but he's got Piero over his shoulder to help him out. Doesn't have to worry about that. Gunfight is going to heal up, and that is going to give Amelia Strays a chance to set up for this defensive side. Now, A wasn't their turn, But B looking a little bit more secured. Watson goes down though, providing an opening. You're gonna force the aggression now from Amelia to take some space through mid. Piero for the cross as well as the pinch is successful. 3 go down, almost 4 for Mavericks, but it's still Super keeping himself up and alive. As Mavericks come off this spawn, they're looking for another B hit quite fast as well, as you already see Tiki in control. But Eric Boom, as he gets out, takes quite a bit of damage with forehand. That's going to stall them out. Minute 14, and things are looking good for Mavericks right now.
For both teams right now, it kind of just feels like it's the Watson versus Super show right now in this game. Both players playing very well, only 8 deaths to both of their names. And you can see Super's just waiting for one of these players to get too aggressive over towards basketball. But it will actually be Vickle getting aggressive in towards money. He'll be able to find 2. And now they can look to hop onto this hill with only 2 players on Amelia inside of basketball.
Thing is, though, Vickle loses 2 of his teammates now with the last 2 going down. Eric Boom only the farthest pushed up for Mavericks, has to wait for his teammates to come in. Does have the backup now from Sukri. And now Sukri to fall from Wardy's flank. 44 seconds on the clock, and Mavericks being shut out so far on the B site. Jackster to reinforce the middle of the map now from this choke. Vickle shooting hot today, as he is just such a superstar for this Mavericks roster. Is going to drop inside kitchens to Wardy, but he's been providing so much force for Mavericks to get onto the site. Super and Sukri on the crossfire are going to do so. 3 are here now for Mavericks, as they're going to be spawning out the side of Amelia Strays all the way to Laundry with 27 seconds. They stop the clock. They get on site. They're looking for 2 rounds in a row, and with the kills going their way, it's almost looking like they're going to cement it. Eric Boom's looking for this gunfight win, but 2 going back and forth for either squad. Working on that last take. Jackster has to get onto the site, but he's not worried about that crossfire. Super takes him down, and that is going to stuff out Mavericks once more.
And Mavericks, they have no respawns remaining either. It's only up to Super now at this point on 1 versus 4. Takes a shot at a trophy instead of taking the gunfight, unfortunately, for himself there. Maybe a little bit of a tough situation for him to be able to win, but shooting the trophy there definitely not going to help them out. But I think that was just a lot of early pressure from Amelia. They did a great job slaying out early on the side of Mavericks. And even when Mavericks were getting a good amount of control towards the end of that round there, they just had not enough lives to really be able to deal with it. And it would have had to have been, honestly, at that point, really picture-perfect cloud from that, from themselves, and they were doing it, but just the reinforcements, it was too many on the side of Amelia for them to be able to deal with.
Winning out on the crucial gunfights, Amelia Strays battled back on that defense, and both defenses as close as you can ask for from either squad, let me say, as Mavericks finding 2 takes onto B was the difference maker between the 2 in their attacking rounds. So you had to look at that for round 5s if it does come into fruition. And going back for an A hit this time, Amelia Strays full frontal aggression. Super is the one to shut this one down, as Vickle playing his life. Looks like he is going to reinforce a zigzag, sneak his way into behind, looking to do extra damage, but Jackster going to be watching it. Gets that immediate trade, and Watson hops onto this point to shut down this, or stop the clock at a minute 7.
And I mean, they're doing a much better job this time if you're Mavericks. They had a really good defense the first time through, but this time Amelia having even harder of a time, even getting a tick onto a site so far here. And you can see Super again, he's going to be the player over towards this basketball site, not able to find anything yet. So Piero will be able to hop on in, but he's going to get pinched out very quickly as well from the side of Mavericks. And with their forward pushing and how far up they are, they can absolutely just pin the side of Amelia in the back of their spawn right now.
And it looks like the teams are starting to pick up on the rhythm of a map like Raid. You mean you full flood to A, you die, you spawn at B. Full flood to B, you die, you spawn at A. It's just back and forth, and Mavericks are reading this perfectly. Take their sights over the B side. You see Super getting a trade with Watson, and the immediate cut from Amelia Strays. Looks like they want to go to the A side once more, and Watson looking to relinquish the pressure into Kitchen. Not going to happen. But giving so much to Amelia Strays now, it looks like they are going to get this cap on the A side.
I think they realize that the side of Mavericks are going to spawn out back towards basketball. So they say, hey, you know what? Because we have no forward pushing towards B, let's just send everybody over towards A. Make sure we get that guarantee cap. We're only down by 2 lives. Let's just try to flip this out and now get the rotation. You can see they're going to send 3 players now towards the jungle side of the map and try to flip these spawns for Mavericks.
And Vickle here. How many times have we had his name in our mouth just to make this a hero play for the team? He's going to be set up in a basketball court. So as soon as the attack comes in through Amelia, you're looking at this player to shut them down. Spots the first, though. Trigger's not as disciplined as you would like, and the trade comes through. 2 kills goes the way of Amelia Strays, and Eric Boom stuck between quite the rock here. Still coming out with a kill onto Watson. A big kill indeed, as Piero's going to try to hop onto this point. Really just needs to play his life. And Jackson to back him up. 4 go down for Mavericks in tandem. That is going to give control to the B site in favor of Amelia with Super down. All players of Maverick are going to be lining up into Laundry to get back as fast as possible. As this is Wardy on a 5 spree, looking for 6. Inside basketball courts, he's going to make it so now. That streaks in his sight lines. Says, if I was Mavericks, you might look in to get rid of this attacking round in joint. You don't want to get rid of any more lives. As the final takes coming through for Amelia Strays, they do get 2 in a row, defense and attack, and start making this control a little bit interesting.
Such a beautiful attack from the side of Amelia Strays towards the back half of that. They had a really, really rough first half of that attack, and then as soon as they found that A site, they were able to transition it over to B so well. As soon as they make the push through jungle, they find those couple of kills, and then I forget who it was, but one of them picked up a player on Eric Boom through the middle of the map. Once they found that kill, it forces the spawn out of Mavericks all the way towards back Laundry, makes them have to push all the way across the map, and at that point, Amelia were able to get 3 people set up in the hill, find 2 ticks, and then it was just like a firing range set up. You push in, we're just going to knock you down. Amelia, a very, very clean offense there for themselves.
Clean indeed, and that's going to force Mavericks for an attacking win of their own. And both these teams have been so close in their attacking rounds. The only thing is Amelia, the second time around, were successful. So Mavericks looking to do the exact same thing, but take a look at Wardy. We were just on top of him. He has the artillery strike in his back pocket to use, and Watson, he's feeling it right now as he flies through Tiki. Gonna lose the gunfight, but you can see the confidence flowing in Amelia Strays.
And Wardy's still alive too. He's trying to make these plays for these streaks. Eric Boom and Sukri, they will find 2 through the middle of the map, but they will get shut down very quickly as well. So they're just going to have to make their push back over towards A, and that's going to be where the focus of Mavericks goes from this point on. It looks like Amelia, not even at the moment, really trying to make a push over towards it.
It's really been the story for these 2 teams on defense. I mean, you give up a site, you look to reinforce the one. It really kind of narrows your vision and kind of tunnels you into what you need to get done. The priorities set on B for Amelia Strays. Vickle has found his way into jungle. Wardy stunned up. It's the go-ahead now for the swing. Vickle in behind. Jaster, though, watching Wardy's back. What a teammate. Streaks, though, not going to come out from Wardy, as you do see Sukri with the follow-up onto 2. And it was a split feed. Mavericks not really finding too much control off of it, except for Eric Boom inside this kitchen, taking out Piero. But reinforcements from Amelia Strays are going to come on board, and Eric Boom is that cutoff player to make sure that he does as much damage as he can. Jackster goes down. Second up's Piero. Eric Boom is not missing. He's on 4. That's going to force Streaks out of Wardy now. Only pings it just to understand where these teammates are. So, yes, the Streaks will come out. And it seems like Amelia Strays want to just put this round down, and all 4 go down, including Watson.
All right, so apparently Wardy decided, hey, guess what? I don't need that second streak. I'll just find 4 with this one. Yeah, one of them is his teammate, and you still have Super pushed very far forward, and he's going to find 2 as well, and that's actually going to force the spawn out from the side of Amelia. So even though that streak comes in, and it's so big, they can now put full control on the B.
Full control indeed. Vickle, though, goes down. Watson's got the flank, and it's been Watson all game. 26 and 19 for himself. We're going to put a stunt in this game, but he's going to go down Sukri. Now a team kill from Jackster. He has to hop on this point now. 1v1 across basketball courts, and Sukri's going to go down. So that's Jackster, the hero right now. Going to be denying some capture presence for this team. Super is going to shut him down eventually, and that's going to look at Mavericks to put this one through. They're gaining ticks. Vickle in the one corner. You got Tiki occupied by Super. Wardy from atop, though. The backup is there, and Mavericks answered back with an attacking round. We're seeing a game 5 or round 5.
What the heck is this game right now, Seymour? We see 2 defensive round wins very strong, and then we see 2 very strong offensive round wins, and not just a strong offensive round win from Mavericks there, but a strong offensive round win, and you avoid the streaks from the side of Amelia. They come in, they get a ton of kills, but still don't get to use. A huge bounce back after those streaks come in. Mavericks able to close that round out for themselves there. And I mean, I think you really got to look at Eric Boom and Super with how far forward they were able to just continuously put the pressure on the side of Amelia in that round to force out the streaks early on. And then to really, it was Super who found those 2 big kills after the streaks come in to really open that round back up for themselves here. And now we're going to have to see a round 5 Mavericks. They will be back on offense again here. They need to do it over again one more time.
Well, Mavericks have no sights on what Jackster just did. He is all the way back driveway, making the flank play of a century, as not even expecting it. Sukri and Vickle, wake up time, as it is going to be a big play from Jackster to shut down that A capture. And that's something we've seen again and again, is just the sites being neglected by these defending teams, but not this time for Amelia.
I was going to say, I think that's why you saw them not try to maybe put too much focus over towards it this time, was because Mavericks were like, oh, okay, they gave it up last time. Maybe they're just going to give up 8 to us again for free. Nope, not going to be the case this time. You get a huge flank play, like you said, in from Chaxter to shut it down. And now you've got Piero inside the middle of the map. He's trying to get a good amount of mid-map control, but Mavericks, they've decided we're going to put our pressure over towards B now, since we already have 2 ticks in at A.
Watson not only able to find one, but Chaxter's there for the backup. Chaxter stonks through the roof. Look at the interactions that he has, 25 and 34. He has over 50 interactions across this board, over almost 60 interactions between him, just on himself for this raid control. That's insane statistics for himself. And yes, he may be negative, but just for an SMG, just a presence on this map indeed. As Mavericks down to 26 seconds. They stop the clock at A, looking to gain themselves another minute of time here for their attack. And it's exactly what they do. And they're immediately going to rush over here. But Wardy, I think he understands that. Playing the quiet game, playing the long haul, as now it's time to attack.
No, Wardy could absolutely just get in behind all 3 of these players.
Piero was the first one, though. And Wardy, now it's his time. Fickle does get the trade, but the damage has been done. Amelia, they have the control. They have the positioning to shut this down. And Watson's found his way right underneath bedroom. Super understands that there is going to be a player here. Not expecting Watson to be below him, was expecting to be inside that bedroom. Now Eric Boom backed into a corner in Tiki. Piero is going to shut that one down. Amazing Call of Duty from Amelia Strays here so far, as they have knocked the time down to 52 seconds.
And it's really been Chaxter in this round, too. He shut down that push over towards A originally, shut down the push towards B when they tried to make their first hit in towards it this time. And now you can see they're going to try to put a lot of pressure. But again, it's Chaxter. He will get shut down from Eric Boom this time. But Watson's got that forward positioning inside of bedroom, or sorry, underneath bedroom. And it's just one of those spots where it just makes it so much harder on the offensive team to be able to get in towards the hill. And now Mavericks only 10 lives left.
And now Piero's on a 5 streak as well to get streaks. 26 seconds. Things are getting dire for Mavericks. They have to make a race to this point, just make something happen. But Piero tucked into a corner. It's not even going to have to take a gunfight as Wardy and Watson. The double U's are going to be taking the majority of the gunfights and majority of the control. Amelia Strays on par to take map number 3 here with 8 seconds left and 5 lives. Mavericks really stuck into a really tough predicament. Now down to 2 lives and 2 seconds on top of each other. Which one will take through first? It doesn't matter, because it's going to be Amelia Strays coming out with map number 3 in round number 5 to take a lead in this series. Their respawns have looked so good, and it's really just been the individual gunfight wins that we see from these players. Wardy, Watson, Chaxter, you name it. And he is firing on all cylinders here for Amelia Strays.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, Chaxter, he kind of did have a rough game there in terms of, yeah, he had a lot of interactions, but he also had a lot of deaths. So them being able to come out on top of that game with how many deaths he has in a game like Control, where deaths really do matter a lot, is so big for themselves there. And I think that last round of Control with the Mavericks, I think where that really goes wrong for them is they try to make that big 4-man hit in towards jungle one more time. And we saw that for themselves in round 4. That's how they got the opening, got so much time. But the thing was, this time through, who was it? Watson that was in behind them in the top of laundry. Just him being able to be there and make that play, he makes the call, lets his whole team of Amelia know that, hey guys, they're all coming in through jungle. So everybody turns around. They get so much forward positioning on Mavericks, as well as finding all those kills. It's so hard for Mavericks at that point for them to get out of their spawn, and they just get absolutely shut down in that last round.
And yes, I know that Amelia Strays is sitting 1 and 3 in the standings here in the stage 4, but you guys got to remember that this team made quite the Cinderella run back in stage 3 to come out on top with a dominant first place victory. Yes, that was when Nuke J was on the roster, but with Wardy in, it looks like they're finally starting to find that championship form and keeping themselves to that potential that we saw in the last stage. So finally coming alive here. I mean, no, never. I mean, it's better late than never to show up here. And in fact, we are seeing probably the best Amelia Strays we have seen all stage long. They take the hard point. They take the control. Yes, they do drop the search and destroy, but heading into Apocalypse hard point, something that we can see another upset potential for this team. And Amelia Strays are just looking like they're just unstoppable right now against Mavericks on Respawn.
And actually, you know what? Looking at this Apocalypse Hardpoint map, this is a map where neither team has played it yet in this stage. And I honestly think that maybe Mavericks has the upper hand going into this map with the side of Vickle and Eric Boom. They have been very, very good in terms of submachine guns. When we've gotten to those longer range maps, that's where you've seen Amelia really take a lot of control in this game over top of the side of Mavericks, especially in that first hard point. But in the close range gunfights of the plane, it really did feel like it was Mavericks that was coming out on top a lot of times over top of the side of Amelia. So I think if we're going towards a very close range map like Apocalypse, this could absolutely be a map where Mavericks are still able to make their way back into this game and tie us up at 2.
100%. And for everybody joining in a little bit late and missed the recap for this day of EU Challengers, this is a very special day because these teams are looking to kind of escape relegation. Amelia Strays, to be exact, is looking to escape that relegation spot. And Mavericks, on top of that, they're looking to maintain their knockout bracket positioning, sitting 2-2. And with this win over Mavericks is probably the toughest matchup that they have all day, as later on they're playing Hot Tub Meta. So they are in such a good position to escape relegation, to jump into that knockout bracket and keep on going forward. So, I mean, it looks like we just got some information that we are jumping. Oh, it's that the mainstream is going to be jumping to finish the Mavericks versus Amelia Strays matchup for either this map number 4 to finish or to go to a map number 5, as it is the only one still going. So as they do jump on over, we are going to head to a little bit of a break, but check them out at youtube.com/COD Challengers for the main stream if you want to see the ending of Amelia Strays versus Mavericks. We'll head to a quick little break, but when we come back, we're going to inform you on the next matchup, which is going to be Los Pepes versus Elevate.
I stay away from the city. It never feels like home. I know it's kind of a pity. You say I'm missing out, but no point in trying to fix what ain't broken. No words to speak that haven't been spoken. No one can tell me who I was meant to be. I said, take me back down to the water. Don't make goodbye any harder. Don't make it harder than it has to be. This place was never meant for someone like me. Don't slow me down. I don't want it. I never took you for granted. I only wanted time. It seemed to me like you had it. You don't, but that's fine. There's no point in trying to fix what ain't broken. No words to speak that haven't been spoken. No one can tell me who I was meant to be. I said, take me back down to the water. Don't make goodbye any harder. Don't make it harder than it has to be. This place was never meant for someone like me. Don't slow me down. dream again. It scared me half to death. I guess I'm not over it. Feels like a heart attack. Could this breath be my last? Is this how it ends? But if I make my head stop spinning, will my heart stop too? Lost myself trying to hold on to you. Where are you tonight? I can't get you out of my mind. Where are you tonight? 'Cause I still feel like I could fight right. Where are you tonight? And if I set the scene inside a memory, I feel you breathing. But I'm a masochist, hit me like 1,000 bricks. But you're up and I'm down and I'm wondering if my head stops spinning, will my heart stop too? Lost myself trying to hold on to you. Where are you tonight? I can't get you out of my mind. Where are you tonight? 'Cause I still feel like I could fight right. Where are you tonight? Where are you tonight? Have I seen you for the last time? Am I moving with the low tide? Am I a shadow in your headlights? Or am I writing it out right? Am I a shadow in your headlights? Where are you tonight? I can't get you out of my mind. Where are you tonight? 'Cause I still feel like I could fight right. Where are you tonight? Where are you tonight? Where are you tonight? 'Cause every second is a lifetime.
Les gens pensent que le temps est une simple progression de cause à effet. Mais en vérité, d'un point de vue non linéaire, d'un point de vue non subjectif, c'est plutôt une sorte d'énorme boule où le temps s'enchevêtre comme un méli-mélo très complexe.
I'm always here and there. Oh, I fear of missing out and hate what I've become. And I'm torn. A handshake, a smile, yeah, the blink of an eye. Everything that can change a life in a minute. Ooh, probabilities, which way is made for me? Don't know who I wanna be. Under my skin, your whisper calm and soft. The daylight shines through corrupted lies. Are you breaking into my brain? I'm in the pouring rain, feeling washed my soul. Now everything is cleaner. I keep calling me, 'cause I want to know if everything is real. Face to face, so different but the same. Are we sane? So familiar yet so strange. I dive in you, alive in me. For what can you feel my brain? I'm in the pouring rain, feeling washed my soul. Now everything is cleaner. I keep calling me, 'cause I want to know if everything is real. I'll never know if anything is real. I'll never know. I'm in the pouring rain, washing through my soul, facing everything I feel. I'm in the pouring rain, feeling washed my soul. Now everything is clear. Like you calling me, 'cause I want to know if everything is real. Yeah. In all my dreams, you're screaming, burn it down. I woke up in a dark place. I try to see straight, but it's all a blur. I just wanna see your face, but I'm shivering, looking for a kerosene cure. I heard my fortune ride from a fire lit by the dead. I saw the start of the end, and it whispered, let's burn it down, down. There's no way out. I can reach you like a iceberg speed, and we can't slow down. 'Cause I need this now. In all my dreams, you're screaming, burn it down. shadows I create, getting crushed beneath their weight. I'm paralyzed, it's killing me. I only wish to be okay. I feel the same, but they will never see. Can you feel the heat? I'll surrender before my defeat. I guess I ran my course and now I'm absolute. All these voices inside who I think to decide that I'm reaching out in vain. Though this empty shell is everything. Why did I have to be this way? Hiding in shadows I create, getting crushed beneath their weight. I'm paralyzed, it's killing me. I only wish to be okay. I feel the same, but they will never see. I take my shape as a fading away, just to stay on the wall, just to think to decay. Tired of playing someone else's part, just to feel again, feel again. I say my shape as a fading away, and I'm tired of playing someone else's part. Is it all in my head? Is it all in my head? Is it all for redemption? Is it all in my head? Is it all in my head? I think I'm starting to see. Is it all in my head? Is it all in my head? Is this just a perception? Why did I have to be this way? Hiding the shadows I create, getting crushed beneath their weight. I'm paralyzed, it's killing me. I only wish to be okay. I feel the same, but they will never see. I'm all oh, look, yeah, we're back here again. It's the same shit, saying bye to a friend with a tight throat. And no, we're crying again, and no, we're crying again. It's grown so old, but we also pretend was the last year. And now they came to an end, dressed in black clothes with your tissues in hand. And no, we're crying again, and no, we're crying again. Hey, tell me, do you wonder? They told me that you're kind. Are we falling apart while we're pacing around in a funeral home? Hey, I'll see you at another wake, and we'll just call it life. We can't get it back now, we're dancing around in our funeral home. Drift, you get a drink from the bar to remember someone you hardly knew with the same blood. You know you just can't forget, it's such a shame to forget. It's grown so old, and now we're crying again. Hey, tell me, do you wonder? They told me that you're kind. Are we falling apart while we're pacing around in a funeral home? Hey, I'll see you at another wake, and we'll just call it life. We can't get it back now, we're dancing around in our funeral suppose I ignored every warning, stepped unhealthily close to the edge. Oh, but I can't recall when I started to hate all the things that used to give me bliss. Can you please stay tonight? 'Cause I'm sure that there's something missing. Close the door as you go. Stay awake, I feel like it's a warning, so I don't lose an hour in the day. 'Cause when I fall asleep, I'm convinced time is stolen. Yeah, life seems to get me that way. Can you please stay tonight? 'Cause I'm sure that there's something missing. Pull me close the door as you go. Dreamt I was rain running off of your window, that I was a rose that won't grow, of things best described using patterns and colors and languages no one should know. I dreamt I was rain running off of your window, that I was a rose that won't grow, of things best described using patterns and colors and languages no one should know. Can you please stay tonight? 'Cause I'm sure that there's something missing. Pull me close the door as you go. So I'll sleep tonight. I'm sure there's something missing. Pull me close the door as you go. I like the way you kept me around as your weakness. Keychains and flowers couldn't fix what I was. Silence and habit made me think we could keep this away from the fray. Left with nothing to say. My mama said those who don't listen don't feel this. What doesn't kill me makes me worse than I was. If I close my eyes then it still feels like the first kiss around for the sound, but I'm bringing you down. Maybe this time was the last time. I think we're running out of luck. Maybe enough was just too much. Thinking this time it could be fine. I think I'm falling out of touch. My words are always off the cuff. Keep changing faces just to keep this a secret. Heavy sedation makes me feel like we're fine. I carved your name into my brain like a team cut. It bleeds, then recedes. I give up, I concede. Breaking your trust, pretending we didn't need this. I've danced around you just to lighten the mood. Colorful phrasing couldn't help, we're defeated around for the sound, but I'm bringing you down. Maybe this time was the last time. I was the last time. I think we're running out of luck. Maybe enough was just too much. Thinking this time it could be fine. I think I'm falling out of touch. My words are always off the cuff. Maybe this time was the last time. I think we're running out of luck. Maybe enough was just too much. Thinking this time it could be fine. I think I'm falling out of touch. My words are always off the cuff. I will keep putting one foot down, one foot after the other. Just prove to myself that my legs still work. And don't keep tearing myself apart. So tell me what you see and tell me what you need. I know you want to leave, but I need you here with me. So don't let go. Oh, so don't let go. Because I know a fire burns inside of you, and I would jump into the flames, just to burn with you. There's so many days where I like to scream and say that I'm doing just fine, like a picture in a broken frame, like a picture in a broken frame. So now that I can say exactly what you need, I know you want to leave, and you can't stay here with me. So just let go. Oh, so just let go. Because I know a fire burned inside of you, and I would jump into the flames, just to burn with you. I know a fire burns inside of you, and I would jump into the flames, because I know a fire burns inside of you, and I would jump into the flames, just to burn with you.
I hope you're all quite rested after that break. It was considerably long, and I apologize for that. But we are back now with the upcoming match, Los Pepes and Elevate. It is going to be quite an excellent match indeed, because this is going to shake up the standings indeed between where Elevate's sitting now after their victory today this morning. They're 4-1, whereas Los Pepes sitting 3-2. So I mean, if Los Pepes are going to take this victory, they're going to knock Elevate down to their own level and even up the playing fields for these spots going into playoffs. My name is Seymour, alongside me, Jesse, or as in Cruisin', to follow me up, the dashing man himself. And we're hopping into this matchup that, honestly, I think could go either way.
Yeah, honestly, and I'm right there with you. Just looking at overall everything that these two teams have done all stage long. I mean, Los Pepes, they kind of came in as an unexpected qualifier. They're pretty much making that same run that we saw Amelia make the last time through. Maybe not to the same extent, but still making themselves known in Challengers Elite, especially in this European stage for themselves. And I mean, they came out really hot first day, 2-0. Then the second day they came out, they end up getting 0-2 themselves. But today they bounced back. They get a nice 3-1 win for themselves in that first matchup. And I mean, looking at the rest of everything for themselves today, now they match up, like you said, against Elevate, who are 4-1. They are kind of the pinnacle right now for this stage. They're the only team that I've seen from looking through everything that has fully stayed together in Europe going into the stage. So in my eyes, I feel like that kind of makes them the favorite going into this one, even though they haven't won a stage yet. They've gone back-to-back second places. So they're definitely going to be looking to try to take this win and, kind of separate themselves a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's what I'm kind of like looking at in this team, just like ounces away from having that number one spot in the Challengers Elite stage. They were upset by the Cinderella story of Amelia Strays in the last stage. In previous stages, we've just seen them fall so short. But now into stage 4, we're seeing such a good chance now as they're staying together again and again. And we're seeing these teams just have a little bit of difficulty with the roster changes that they're accumulating into this stage as well. But now you're going up against Los Pepes, a team that's a dark horse into it that nobody really saw coming, just kind of out of left field, found their way into this stage and are making quite the names for themselves. And now Los Pepes facing a chance to secure themselves a spot for that playoffs in stage 4, which is also admirable that we're just seeing such a change up in the EU scene, a Cinderella story in one stage, and the exact same thing another the next stage here in stage number 4, where Los Pepes is now looking to face the number 1 team in Europe at the moment for challengers and elevate. Garrison Hardpoint is going to be the map to start us off. How are you feeling about this map number 1 for these two teams?
Well, I mean, so looking over everything of these two teams, it's very obvious that both teams' best mode is hardpoint. With the side of Pepe sitting at 7-1, Elevate sitting at 7-2. So both teams very well practiced in this mode. And looking at Garrison and just in itself, Pepe's are 2-0. Look over at Elevate 2-1. So both teams, like we said, are very good at this game mode. Both teams very clearly have the wins on this map mode combo. So it's pretty hard to say. I think really this series, it's going to come down to who's just going to come out on top in their better mode, if I'm being completely honest, because both teams seem, yes, Elevate's good at search and destroy and control, but not the greatest at either mode. 3 and 2 at both. Pepe's and both search and destroy at 1 and 5. So, I mean, I really feel like Pepe's, they need to come out and win this first one, but whether they do or not, it's really just going to come out in the fact of which Elevate are we really going to see come out in this.
I think what's even more important for this, and if I'm not mistaken, as we head into our maps and modes to check out what comes up next in this series, map number 2 is Express. And in recent histories for Los Pepes, for that map number 2 Express, we have seen them fall time and time again. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, in their series last week, they played Express Search and Destroy and fell 6-2. So not looking as pretty as you would like on that map number 2. It looks like Elevate's winning the vetoes for their second map in this series. So I definitely agree with you. Reinforce your point on that. Garrison map number 1 is going to be so important. But as we look at the rest of the series, we got Garrison Control, Checkmate, Hardpoint, and then Moscow Search and Destroy as well to end this one off. So let's run through this a little bit, Cruz, on the matchups between these teams, as the respawns are looking to be super important for Los Pepes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, the 2 respawns are going to be the most important parts of the game for Los Pepes. They need to make sure they come out and they win their best game mode. Yes, they're 7-1, but Elevator 7-2. So, Elevator are going to be looking as well very strong in those map mode combos. Those are going to be, I feel like we're going to see absolute haymakers thrown at each other through our hard points. And then kind of in the search and destroy, if you're Pepe's, you kind of got to find a way to steal one here. Yes, you would love to be able to sit back and say, hey, you know what, we'll just win 1, 3, and 4 and take the series like that. But you can never really fully feel confident in taking a series in that way. And like you said, going in towards that checkmate search and destroy as our second map as well, I'm a little bit worried for those Pepes because, like you said, they're not the best looking team at that map. And really, their only map win on that was a 6-4 win. Everything else on that map mode combo has really been blowouts in terms of the other team just being able to beat them pretty badly.
No, I'm taking a look here at my stats that I have below me, and I'm reading through these players, and I'm looking at really Hixie for the side of Elevate for this Garrison Control or the Garrison hard point to start us off. Hixie is going to be such an important player, and I'm looking at him having quite the breakout year really in these challenges, just showing up when he needs to. The SMG of Elevate is going to be important on, especially on a map like Garrison. And when you're looking at Los Pepes, you got Fusion as well on their side. I mean, he has been showing up time and time again alongside Ku, his counterpart in the SMG role for the side of Los Pepes. So really, it's going to be the story of SMGs, a tale of terrors on the map of Garrison here, and how really they dictate the pace of this hardpoint cruise.
It's kind of crazy to think too that we're going into this and we're really talking up the fact that Pepe's has a really good shot of being able to win this when you're looking over at the Elevate team, who has been such a consistent through EU challengers throughout the entire time so far. You got Bids, Denza, Hiskey, and Weeman, who have just really been 4 solid players who have stuck together through much of the year this year for this Elevate team. Yes, they've been under different names throughout the roster, or this roster has been under different names throughout the year so far, but they really have kind of become household names here in the European scene, especially last year too. Bids and Denza, 2 very good players that are just these guys that you know are going to pop off over and over again for the side of Elevate. And I mean, if you're Pepe's, you really need to find a way to kind of slow them down, shut down that, because if you really let them get rolling early on, that's when Elevate can take a series very quickly.
I'm watching the leadership that's behind this team as well. You look at the pacing as you're talking, since we're talking about pacing, the AR set for Elevate in general, and that's good. That's really where you're looking at Bids and Weeman. Just the 2 players that are so good at reading a situation, slowing down the spacing that is taken from their opponents, and it gives them so much control on the map. And when we're talking about give and take here for a map like Garrison, where the SFGs are looking to take, it's the ARs that are looking to give that space for them to move into. So it's just a whole machine through Elevate that's going to be tough to deal with. And really, if you want to take them down here, if this Dark Horse wants to really show their strategy, they need to have every single player stepping up to the plate. But it begins with the SMGs.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, especially in a Garrison, right? The submachine guns, they can come out on top time and time again because it's one of those maps where you can get into those tight corners, into those little crooks and nannies right around the tank, where all those little gunfights are so important. But then you get the ARs to be able to set up and watch over them, and teams that can find that success where you can absolutely have all your submachine guns just running roam while having your ARs watching over the way that they absolutely need to. That's how you can really start to run away with a score on this map mode combo. So that's what we'll be looking for both these teams to try to do here.
And for everybody joining on back in, this is day 3 for the EU community stream on the stage 4 of the bracket. For this time around, we're hopping in with Los Pepes and Elevate. But prior to this, we saw Amelia Strays against Mavericks, and that was an interesting turn of events because Amelia Strays, in the end, when they jumped back over to the mainstream 4 challengers, they came up with a game 5 victory. So they are keeping themselves in it to win it. They're not facing relegation just yet, so you got to keep your eyes out on those squads as well. Mavericks, not the start that they wanted in this day, but you're looking at them to bounce back later on against Team War. Nonetheless, let's hop in with Elevate and Los Pepes as Garrison Hardpoint is going to be underway. These teams ready to go, and Elevate starting with the favorable spawns for the initial. You're looking at Los Pepes to push the aggression.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you're Elevate here, you're going to be looking just to get a really good start against a team like Los Pepes, because like we said, their hardpoint has been their best map and their best mode, so they absolutely need to be trying to pick it up here. Elevate, they want to come out to a hot start, so they don't have to just rely on Search and Destroy to be able to take this whole series. But very good start from Los Pepes. They're going to find a 3-1 trade off the bat here. They're going to get inside this hill for initial time, and now they are just going to be trying to make their way over towards this towards the opposite side of the map and try to flip these spawns out for P2.
Iku, big kill onto Weeman. The AR is not going to have those power positions just yet, but Denza trying to force the aggression in with the SMGs, but it's to follow it up. Elevate keeping it contested on the point, and even a skirmish on top with Taurus coming out with the big 2-piece as well, combines to allow Fusion to get into a little nook like you're talking about. The Granny not yet taking aggression yet. Denza, though, going to get the follow-up from Fusion. Allows Ku to push in from platform. Weeman on site goes down, but the follow-up from Elevate keeping them nice and tight for the second point. As they do get the first initial time here, you're looking at Los Pepes to group up and push on, which they are through the back tank. But who else but Dens here to work with a team kill off of Fusions to slow down the aggression?
Yeah, Denza's in such an important spot in the back here, just able to continuously lock this down. And I mean, Bids was in an interesting spot there with an AR, but still, nonetheless, they do their jobs. And now the push from Los Pepes, they're going to continue to try to filter in through Square and in through Cobble, but really just haven't been able to find much success through that. And as this time continues just to roll down and roll down here with only 30 seconds left, they are finally able to hop on into the hill. But I mean, Elevate, they might just try to focus on pushing through and getting in towards this next zone. That's exactly what you see player 8 and 7 doing.
Yes, but you do see Denza working with Weeman to get back onto this hill. Bids off screen, finds a big one, and Weeman wins his one-on-one on site. So it's going to give Denza the rest of the scrap time here to push back to a lead in this as Hixie falls across the map. Los Pepe, they're okay with giving up that scrap time. Even into point number 3. Abuza holding off onto these spawns as Elevate now grouping up together for a push through the front here. But missing out on a few gunfights as finally it's going to be a 3-on-4 on the front line here. Denza going to be pushing this trophy system into sight. Torres gives himself up for positioning wise, but back and forth these teams go in the kill feed as Torres finding the better of them. Denza and Base forces themselves in though. Elevate gets into this point so far. Now they're looking to clear out these spawns. As you take a look at the mini-map, you can see everybody on Los Pepe is going to be spawning on out. Fusion's going to have to go up big for his team, but Weeman crosses around, almost finding 3, but Fusions shuts him down on the seam.
Weeman just went so huge for themselves there, but just as quickly, Koo in the back, he'll be able to find a few as well. But Weeman, he'll be there for the trade. So really, nobody able to get a ton of time on this hill. I think that's what both teams are doing really, really well so far. Los Pepes, when you saw Elevate set up early, they were able to break in on that P2, at least contest for a good amount of the time to stop them from being able to run away with a score. And then even so, Elevate now on P3, they do the exact same thing. Los Pepes sets up early, Elevate able to get in, contest for a ton of the time. There's no team allowing the other to really pull away yet so far in this game.
And Los Pepes doing a good job at eliminating braid control from Elevate, so now they get themselves onto this garbage hill, looking to push their lead even farther. Denza shut down onto platform to the B1, and you see how dangerous this control is with Green Room and Bridge in your hand. You're just going to have so much sightlines raiding over these teams, and now they flip the spawns for Elevate. There's all 3 players pushing in through from P3 spawns, and Abuza and Torres setting up with their AR power positions do shut down 2 at the scene, but you do get the break. Weeman hops on in, finds 2. Koo to be the difference maker, but is it enough? It is not. Stenza finds a big kill to put Elevate back on the board.
And this is the first really solid hold that we've seen from Elevate so far, as they're able to get a good amount of time here. Start clawing their way back into this game as well. But Los Pepes, they're going to have the rotation set up towards the next hill. I think really the only player who's there for the side of Elevate is Hixie, kind of in the sneaky spot inside of Lights, but he'll fall as well. So this should be good early time now going to the side of Los Pepes. But a really weird spawn too.
Weird spawn indeed. Split for Elevate. You're looking at Hixie in the back line. They might not read it. Koo unaware, but Hixie, you gotta finish those. Misses out on the kill onto Koo, and he's going to pay for it in blood. 3 go down for Elevate. Los Pepes are going to be hopping back onto this with a 30-point lead. You can see the spawn for Elevate a little bit wonky still, so it is going to split the attention from Los Pepes from the back of their head. In the front of the site now, Koo hops into green, bids for the one-on-one. Big kills for himself. Looks for the second, but Hixie is going to shut him down. Only problem is for Elevate is they don't have any time so far on this Hill 5.
Yeah, Los Pepes are doing a great job. Not only did they hold on to the initial time from the outside of this hill, but they make their push all the way through. They are able to force the push from Elevate out towards the left and spawn them out, and it works out so perfectly for them. They get a ton of time there. Elevate will get in towards the back half of that hill, but now we have to look over towards this next hill, and once again it's Los Pepes finding all the kills through the middle of the map, and they should be able to try to set up early once again.
Abuza just went huge. 4 kills in a row there. Just played his life in the behind. And if he didn't go big there, Los Pepes would have been stuck in the back tank spawns. But because he finds 3, they're able to break on in, get the better spawns for this hill number 1 so far, and even set up for green control for the split. But Elevate, they do find the important kills. They make themselves make their way to the middle of the map to kind of split up the attention of Los Pepes once more. Denza hops into this hill, and at a distance, those shots from the 74U looking so clean.
And Elevate, they're doing a great job right now too, because they are setting up, getting a good amount of time here on this first hill, but still having those spawns for the second. It's going to have to be a cleaner hold on P2 this time through, though. They were only able to hold on to the first 30 seconds in the last hill before it was really contested and broken quite early from Los Pepes, who were able to contest for a good amount of time. So Elevate, they're going to be looking to respond back with a good hold here.
100%. Fusions, though, with the help of Booza, is going to take control of that elbow. Pixie's going to have to respect this space, but he gets caught off from Ku. Once more, Elevate starting to lose their gunfights, but it's Bids and Denza to turn out big with a two-piece meal. As Denza finishes off, as he's a hungry man on this site. 3 in a row, soaking up the time in the sun. Wee Man holding on tight as well as he's crossing the 21 marker. Elevate tie us up, and we got ourselves a battle.
And that works out so perfectly for Elevate as well, because not only do they win that one-on-one inside the hill to give them time, but also they flip the spawns out completely. Yes, you're going to lose these back 17 seconds, but does it really matter when you've grabbed the first 40 and you have the rotation now towards the next hill, because they can just move over and fully set up. Hisky is really far pushed forward for the side of Elevate. He might actually end up spawning out, and yes, he does, but Elevate still, you're going to have 3 players here on rotation set up and ready to go.
Now, Los Pepes, they got to put the pedal to metal. They're getting these kills. They're spawning these players out, but now they might pay with it in the flank, and Pixie is going to split the attention of Boost is going to take him out, but you get the spawns back into the site. Bids finds 2. Wee Man reinforces them. 3 go down for Los Papes and really shuts out their attack back to the dark room. Now, Hixie looking to clean out tools. Is tagged up from the nade. You see Ku at the front line. Does take out Denza. So it is going to allow Los Pepes a chance to get onto the site, but now comes in the full swing of aggression. Hixie and Bid side by side. They find 2. And they shut this down once more. Now 30 seconds left on this hill. Elevate a chance to take this lead to the next level as Hixie getting another kill onto Fusions to the front line before he goes down. Now this is a chance for Los Pepes. They either need to make a full hit here or just shut down their attack and just go for that garbage hill. And it looks like they're going to take one more swing at it where Denza just lines them up and puts them down. He's 19 and 19 himself, and he's heating up.
And the difference between these 2 hills and the last time we've seen hills 2 and 3 go up is the fact that Elevate, they're able to control the early time of both those hills for around 40 seconds before Los Pepes are even really able to get close inside of that hill. Yes, the first one, Los Pepes break. This time, Los Pepes, they don't make the same mistake. They don't want to allow Elevate to have the opportunity to make it out of that hill. They want to be able to set up for this full under tank kill, and it's exactly what's going to happen. What they don't know is Denza was able to get a spawn out for himself there, and he'll find 2 underneath the tanks as well for themselves. And
almost makes it 3.
Yeah, they almost got the 3rd as well.
Well, Wee Man from the top ropes is going to jump on in and take on this control with the last 30 seconds, and Elevate looking primed to break over that 200-point marker. But Abuza, is if anybody's close, it's going to be him. Hop on, challenges floating tank. Denza hops off to gain the time on point while his teammates fall. But Hixie with that bridge control also raining some teardown on this team as they have all sites under control. Wee Man's going to get that last sort of kill, but Torres from a distance. Is he able to get 3? He is, so he shuts out Elevate now, and that's time out of their hand that they really could have used. Now, over the 200 marker, but a 50-point lead. Los Pepes looking to bring this one back.
This was probably Los Pepes' most dominant hill through that first set of rotations. They got a good amount of time here on this, and they're doing exactly what they did the last time through. They flip the spawns out so they have the left-hand side spawns, but then they make the push all the way through the middle of the map, and they spawn Elevate now up on towards that left side, and now they can put them in a spawn trap and try to hold them here.
Those things get tough, though, because the spawn trap is there, but they're not winning their gunfights. Torres is going to have to watch this cross from elbow. And he does win his gunfights. 2 go down for Elevate. Nobody in the hill just yet. Only 40 points separating the 2 of them. You are going to have Los Pepes hop back onto this hill. And if you take a look at the mini-map, Elevate taking control of the top. So they're going to be flooding on through bricks and green. Another shot where Abuza should have finished that one, but Bids is going to get some lucky shots onto him to win it out. Can he get another one? He can. So that's going to be Elevate hopping back onto this hill for the final 10 seconds. So Los Pepes did the job that they needed to for that.
Oh my God.
Now they have to make sure that they can get some good time on P1.
Looks like Elevate is at their strongest when they're just flying through the air at everybody else trying to find these kills. Great job from them here so far in this map. And those kills at the very end of that are so huge because they flip the spawns if they get out of the spawn trap, and now they can set up for a P1 hold.
Fusion's found his way into the backline. Wee Man, he's got his head on a swivel, checking it as well. Bids for the front. Torres breaks on through. He's got the help on the bridge, and it's enough of a distraction to make it a one-on-one now for this site. Wee Man is going to be here. Fusion's going to challenge him in here. It's going to be a nade to force him off this time, but he wants to soak up as much as he can. Only needs 9 seconds to put this one down into their books. Hixie's going to challenge alongside with this crossfire, and all the kills go in the way of Elevate until Fusions is going to split that with Ku. With 8 seconds left, you think it's only a matter of time before Elevate hops on in it, unless Los Pepes can make the comeback of a lifetime. And 13 seconds on this hill, they can still do it here. Denza, big kill onto Abuza. Fusions to maybe split the difference. The contention's out for Ku, and we're going to see another point.
That contention's so huge. Like you said, we'll see one more point. It's going to be Hiskey trying to push in through the top. He won't be able to get there. So Los Pepes now, they can try to stabilize and get a good setup here for the side of Elevate. And I mean, if you're Elevate, you just need to make one solid push through the back and try to break into this. Just wait up, play together, make your break.
Well, you have to look at this Los Pepes. You got to win Hill 2, and then you have to make the unthinkable rotation 2.3 without giving up 2 points in the meantime. And Elevate, they know this. They slow down the game. They're playing for the kills. Torres in the backline gets overpowered by Denza and Weeman. It allows them that break control, but what they don't know, Ku laying prone in the backline. Both players go down. 24 seconds here. Now, Los Pepes to get the rest of it. It looks like Elevate respecting the gunfights here. Ku, though, finds an opening out. Wins the first fight onto Weeman. Plays his life, which is important. And this might be the break that you need. He just has to win the next one, though. Biz backing up with fusions. Goo gets checked out. Abusa still alive, but 4 seconds to cross over and Elevate. They have full control of this half of the map, and they are going to take those over. Elevate take map 1 Garrison. It's only a matter of time, but Los Pepes did they make it interesting.
Yeah, that got really, really close towards the end there because Los Pepes got into his position where if they found kills well rotated across the map, they were going to spawn the side of Elevate back over towards P2. And it would have allowed them to really make the flip and the rotation all the way over without losing even 2 seconds on that hill. Like you said, what they needed to do, they almost did it, but just unfortunately at the very end, just not able to find the kills. And it was really that second set of rotations for me. Elevate, they really turned up their game as they pushed through the sets. It was what P2 and P3 they got full setups for. And when they fully set up for those 2 hills, they got around 40 seconds on them as opposed to the first time through where those hills were getting broken very early. Once they were able to start getting some solid holds, that's where you saw them really start to pull away with that game.
And we were talking about the SMG battle on a map like Garrison. The interactions were is through the roof for both teams in that sense. And that's why it was so even for Los Pepes and Elevate, as it was the start so strong for the Dark Horse team. But as soon as, like you said, as soon as they started getting comfortable, Elevate, they were just flying through the map as they were taking so many confident gunfights, and it really turned around the game throughout that halftime. So taking that map number 1, which we said was so important for Los Pepes, not gonna happen. Elevate, they turn up. Round number 1 goes their way. They're up 1-0 in the series and moving into Express Search and Destroy, which I'm no doubt in my mind is a pick for Elevate by the history I've seen from Los Pepes on this map. It's a little bit worrisome for me.
It is, but also Elevate's only 1-1 on this map. So yes, to the side of Los Pepes, you're 1-2, not looking great at this map mode combo in general. At the very least, you have a win on it. You can kind of look back over all the losses that you do have and really try to rebound from them and learn from your mistakes going into this one against Elevate. And then if you're Elevate, yeah, you're 1-1 on this, but that's not a great record in itself. I think the only solid thing to look at is when Los Pepes have kept it close, they have been able to take this map mode combo. On the other side, though, when they lose, they get blown absolutely out of the water.
This is another map exactly like Raid, where you're just looking at the rhythm to change up again and again. You got those quick hits, you got the slow burnout rounds, and that's what Express provides on both sides. As we do hop into this map and map number 2. I mean, you highlight as one round on attack could be as slow as ever toward TV room. The next one just immediate info control towards the bottom, the top of the mini map. Right on this attack, Elevate. They're going to be holding onto this bomb. Hixie with it in hands. They go for a 3-hit towards A, with one lurking through the middle of the map, just hoping for a flank. But Fusion's going to shut down that first blood, immediately traded by Hixie to open up with the interactions.
That's so big, too. It looks like Fusion's going to try to make a flank play in through the back here, but they were totally ready for him this time through. So Elevate, realistically now, that A bomb site is fairly open. They can push up, try to get this bomb down. They just need to be wary because Torres is on a huge flank play in through the back. And if him and Abusa, they time this up correctly, they might just be able to pinch these players in, but I think Bid spotted Torres.
Oh, Blitz 100% spotted Torres. He puts the information in Hixie's head, and he was ready for once more. So another 1vx situation on a search and destroy for the community stream. This time around, it's Abusa. The AR in his hand. Bomb gets planted at the A site. 41 seconds, not in his favor, and neither is that gunfight. So Elevate, a big round 1 opening for Express right off the bat for their attack.
And it's a skill here on Fusions. They sniff out the fact that they think he's going to push back through the trains. They were absolutely right. They're able to find him, get that bomb over towards the A site, and realistically, it was wide open at that point on. Get it down nice and easily, able to close that round out for Elevate. And it's again one of those things that I said earlier on today when we were watching that first series. It feels like when a team gets a man advantage in the European region, they're just so much better at closing those rounds out than what you see in NA. And I don't know if that's maybe the fact of just NA being able to make those individual plays just that little bit much better, or just the fact of EU, they just play such clean COD once they get the opportunity to.
Well, things get scrappy in the pit. Wee Man evens up the difference. 2 versus 2 now as you see things still. The Fusion's found his way all the way into the back spawn of Elevate. Wee Man does the exact same in tandem. Biz, though, going to challenge this one as you say that they're sniffing out these players. Is exactly what Bids does. Fusion's once again going to get caught off guard by the awareness of Elevate, and that puts Taurus in a 1v2. He doesn't make his way up to the overpass. He has to collect this bomb, and Wee Man knows exactly where it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no chance Weeman does not know where this bomb is, and Torres very much so stuck between a rock and a hard place right now, trying to get that bomb, trying to find the kills. Can't do either for himself and Elevate. They're going to find themselves up 2-0 here.
Elevate playing perfectly is quite easy reads, I'd say, from Los Pepes to start this one off. I mean, Fusions both times going for those flank plays, and I wouldn't say the first one was that slow, but the second one was slow enough that Bids could pick up on it and realize that it's been quiet for long enough. The player's going to be coming behind us. Gets into a position, favorable gunfight, takes a big kill on top of that, and Elevate's going to answer back with a quick round, exactly like they said. That rhythm changes up again and again. Los Pepes tried to go for the read towards A, but it's not going to be the case.
Those Pepes just look like they just keep getting caught off guard here from the side of Elevate. And I don't even know if it's necessarily something that they're doing wrong right now. It just feels like Elevate is hard countering everything that you see from Los Pepes so well right off the rip of this game. And they're going to get this bomb down and get a 4-man setup as Los Pepes is trying to break through the middle of the map.
All the way through mid. Ku wins the first fight. Hixie out of play now. Rest of the players in this pit. Los Pepes with high ground control. We've seen how this goes in the movies. Let's see if it works out in Call of Duty 2. Back and forth these teams going. The defuse is going to come out with no challenge at all. Los Pepes put themselves on the board.
And Los Pepes are in kind of a rough situation there because Ku finds the first, and then he just instantly is they're just gonna hop onto this bomb right away here. You can see, and then he just has to watch over his teammate. And unfortunately for the side of Elevate, the player that they have watching that from the right is he only has a submachine gun in his hand, so it's a lot harder to take those shots and hit them over top of that over top of the staircase there to find those kills. And Los Pepes, they take advantage of it. They're able to find the round win there for themselves, and now they look to try to battle this back. They need to take an offensive round win, at least look stronger in the offense than what they did in the last round, because they just got picked apart by the side of Elevate last round through. But I mean, 2 very different hits coming in. Elevate going full towards A, Los Pepes going full towards B. This should be another easy plant, and we'll see if Elevate can do the same thing we just saw Los Pepes do and retake this B site.
Exactly what we saw from Los Pepes, except Bids here to get the knowledge of that bomb planter, and he's actually going to get an early rotation through terminal, through the right side of your mini map. Did you see the collapse come on in from both sides? The pinch is going to be solid so far as Wee Man big kill onto Fusions. But it's escaping. The difference is, this is what I like that Elevate didn't have. They had exit plans. They weren't just stuck in the pit. Now Taurus from behind has to win this one-on-one with Wee Man, but instead it's going to be Q all alone. 1v4, now 1v3 as he has to challenge them all. They line up, but he's not able to get the kills. Hixie's going to put that one through, and with 10 seconds, plenty of time to get this defuse as Elevate. They take their lead back to a 2-round advantage.
Dude, my heart just dropped when they all just lined up. I just got shades of optic from that 1v3 from accuracy there when all 3 of those players just lined up there. That actually just scared me so bad, but no, they are able to close it out. And even bigger than them just being able to close it out there is Weeman actually finds himself on 6 in a row now, looking towards building towards some of these streaks here. Ton of damage in this lobby too at 840. He will have that AR out in hand one more time here for himself, and you got to imagine he's just going to try to sit back, play an angle, and just try to watch over his team here. And I mean, a much stronger hit though coming in from Los Pepes on defense.
Oh, 100%, as they're going to just be meeting this head on, split back and forth before Dens finds a second one. Torres goes for a really questionable challenge, but it is just going to put Los Pepes in a tighter situation now. 2v1 Ku has been quiet as a mouse hiding inside this ticket booth. I'm not sure either player knows this. As you can see, that they're both just panicking, looking at both sides of the map, but he is right down the middle. They have no clue at all.
The solid part of this too is they do kill Wee Man as well. They drop him off of those streaks. So that's like the one thing that you can be happy for right now if you're Los Pepes is yes, you're in a 1v2, but yeah, you've stopped them from getting these streaks. And I love this corner that Ku's playing in, because if they choose to push up and get this bomb down towards B, he should be able to find the player who's trying to get this bomb down and then hopefully get away with his life as well. We'll see what happens. Bomb will start to go down here. You should see Ku try to challenge this out very shortly. He does, but he falls. Perfect play from Elevate, watching over his teammate, able to find the kill and find the round there.
And it's just one of those situations that Ku has to go for that challenge. Nonetheless, the only problem is that it's an SMG against two people stacked on top of each other. And it's exactly like the round before that. Maybe if that was a Krig, you would line them up and just get the double kill. But with the 74U right now in that tight corner, yes, it does beam, but a little bit extra is needed to put those kills on through. So yes, like you say, 4-1 for Elevate here off of a big round win. Ku, his patience does not pay off this time around, but their attack once again going to the B site. So they are going to be dropping this bomb without any resistance, and the exact same play from Elevate on defense.
And it looks like Elevate's totally comfortable with them getting this bomb down. And like you said, it's literally the exact same play. They'll be able to find out the first as well as Bids take some shots and the grenade will finish them off. But this time, though, they will find a trade in Abuza. And Fusions is making a change this time through for the side of Los Pepes. He's actually going to make a flank play through the middle of the map, and he might be able to catch some of these Elevate players off guard as they make their push.
Well, Torres as well, but he's not going to expect a Wee Man to hop on in there. Now Fusion all alone, one-on-one is expecting. He goes to the shot punch, but still Fusions comes out on top with it. Big plays from himself, lines up 3 in a row. That's what we've been waiting for.
And that's the call that we made, that I was making earlier. He makes the big flank play in from behind. He's able to find 2 and then all 3. The shot punch, not even enough to finish him off. And that just shows you these teams, they make these big mid-round changes where they're like, hey, we did this last time, but they pinched on all angles and came through the middle of the map. They were able to find our kills so easily last round too. Fusion says, hey, this time, you know what? I'm just going to make the play in through departures. Let's push in through the middle of the map, get on a flank of my own. He does exactly that. They're able to find the kills. And now very much so, these teams are very much so pushing in towards this A side. It's going to be a head-on push. Actually, it looks like Elevate has decided to slow it down and go back towards B, though. Must have read the hard counter.
The one thing is that you're not always going to get those big plays from a player like Fusion every single round. And I feel like they've been put in those situations where you need those big plays. So I need to say Los Pepes kind of change something up to not be forced into that situation if they're going to take some extra rounds, because that heroic isn't going to happen again and again now. The bomb going down, you got 36 seconds for a retake. All the players in Elevate once again backed up into the pit, except number 3, Hixie, is making that rotation all the way out through Terminal to the ticket booth, as he's going to get in behind both of these players. Excellent trigger discipline. Pounces on his prey. Now bids for the second one. Now it's all up to Fusions. Once more, 1v2. Time against him. Has to fort the gunfights, but he's just going to be jumping through the high ground right into the hands of his enemy. Elevate up 5-2 as they put themselves on map point.
And it really feels like both of these teams are just very comfortable with giving up that B site and just allowing the team to plant the bomb and trying to go for the retake. So far, Elevate's been a lot more successful in doing so, but Los Pepes, they try again. It's just not working out for themselves right now. And I think on defense, they might have to start putting a little bit more pressure over towards that B site if we end up getting there through one more round, because these retakes that just aren't coming in for themselves here. And if we see them go towards B again here, I feel like they need to do a much better job, like you said, of not having to have that big play from Fusions to be able to lock it down. And this time through Elevate, they will put full pressure in towards B. Everybody on Los Pepes, though, heading towards the A site.
Los Pepes, though, just getting caught off again and again. Abuza this time is going to be the first blooded. Bomb goes down at A, but you've lost a key player for your post plan, one of your ARs. And another one drops as Ku's going to bite that dust, as Denza's going to be the one to take him out. Now back down to 2. Torres in the overpass underneath them. Fusions. Wee Man's going to hunt him down, and it's all up to Torres now as he is running across the map to do so, but he will not even get there in time. The defuse is going to come through. Elevate is going to win map number 2, and they are going to lead this series 2-0. Jesse.
Yeah, and you got to be a little bit worried for Los Pepes now. Not only do they lose their best map mode combo in Garrison Hardpoint, but then they go into an Express Search and Destroy, which is a map where it was going to be tough for them, and we knew that, but it was kind of one of the ones where if you lose that hardpoint, you absolutely need to win the Search and Destroy for your team. They don't end up doing so, and now they put themselves in a really tough situation in this map where they have to play another Search and Destroy guaranteed. They absolutely are going to have to play another hard point, which is again their best map mode their best mode. but against a team like Elevate, who we've already seen them take a hard point against them. So it's all going to be up to this Control if they can make their way back into the series, but it's definitely going to be a tough one for them now.
Well, Dark Horse against the Beast, and the Beast is triumphant so far, up 2-0, forces the reverse sweep from Los Pepes. We're going to cut to a little bit of a break, and when we come back, map 3 Garrison, so don't go anywhere. It'll only be short. Throw the notes out the board, Jesse, because Los Pepes, they have to battle against the odds here, make the reverse sweep against Elevate, and keep themselves in it. And granted, they are in quite the position to stick into the knockout bracket, but looking to go even higher and, I guess, elevate themselves further.
Yeah, I mean, they're not in a great situation for themselves. And like you said, they're definitely going to need to pick themselves up over this side of Elevate here. It's all going to be up to this Control. And honestly, it's how they pace themselves here on how I think the rest of the series could go for them. Their respawn modes, definitely the stronger of all their modes from the side of Los Pepes. So they're going to be looking to try to answer again with another win. And it's a boost in the middle of the map. So far, so good for Los Pepes. They had a decent break off, and they can try to get a little bit of time over towards this B side. But actually, it looks like they're going to try to focus over towards A with a few players as well.
Very, very scrappy on Garrison so far. Exactly like the hard point indeed, but two players on Elevate going to be occupying green room. Torres has his eyes peeled for that site. Fusion's going to be winning a big one-on-one off-site for Bricks. Looking to play his life as well, but Denza is going to get the trade. Torres keeping it forward for the inside of Los Pepes. So they're going to hop on board, gain some progression here, working on the second towards B. Weeman gets cleaned up from behind. Koo is going to help out on that point, but Hixie now over the box in for two. Can't get the third, but enough for Elevate to get back in.
Absolutely, just enough for Elevate to shut that down for the time being. But Abuza again will find a few kills to the middle of the map. He needs to try to make his way towards this hill, but Elevate, they're doing a great job right now of just not allowing them to touch over towards B, but onto A. Fusions will hop on. He's the only player push forward here for Los Pepes, so this gunfight's gonna be so huge. Oh, and actually, he already won it.
Indeed, but this forces Elevate to move to the A site. And they are, but at the same time, Biz is just winning all the gunfights towards the spawn of Los Pepes. So Fusion really on an island here to win the gunfights. Wins the first one, but the second one right above him onto radar. That is going to be Denza to close it out. And with that split attention, you do see Los Pepes to hop back onto the B site and then win some gunfights. Taurus, big one. Now 2 players on for the B side of the map here. Los Pepes in a good position to extend the time limit by 1 minute. Taurus still slaying out now. Finds a second one, but Wee Man from behind. Maybe he may be able to kind of damper through this follow-up attack, but checks the wrong side. Los Pepes, full frontal attack. 3 go down now. Last one's inside breaks. Hixie right around the corner here. Fusions wins out on it. Now this is Los Pepes' turn to put this one through, Cruz.
Oh,
The
yeah, that was... What a crazy round there from the side of Los Pepes towards the second half of that especially. It's all on the back of this play from Fusions, if we're being completely honest. Through that first little bit, he wins one big gunfight and then wins a huge second gunfight here to just completely slow down the push. And what that does is it completely opens it up for the side of Los Pepes to get back onto B. They complete that tick. They had, 17 seconds left when he made that first individual play over towards that site. And then a second one, and the second one was what we actually just got to see through that last little bit there. But huge plays coming in from Fusions to really helping them win that round there on offense.
Off the kickoff here. You see Fusions looking right immediately for vent control. Is what I like to see from a player like him, to slip into the backline, but it looks like he's going to be facing Hixie at that. So Elevate has the corner checked. Denza pulls first blood. And Denza, look at Fusions, tries to force the aggression, but excellent awareness from Hixie. Taurus on the front line, keeping Los Pepes on that contention. He finds 3 big kills from Los Pepes. Elevate has to go back to their spawn and take another hit at this.
And now Los Pepes, they need to just try to make their way out of this as quickly as possible. Try to find these players. And Taurus, you would have loved to have seen a little bit of trigger discipline there. It's not going to be the case, and they're not going to be able to find all the kills right off the bat here. And Denzo through the middle of the map, he'll find a huge 2-piece. Really up to Fusions. Fusions falls as well. So back onto the B side, Elevate's able to go.
And Wee Man keeping his team in the shoulders out on this. The enemy, Taurus, still going to come out with the win, but playing that almost pitch perfect there, as you do see the follow-up from your teammates. You're going to solidify that second tick, and Taurus now still going big on the B side. Another 3 spree, as you call for trigger discipline, but he is in a full frontal assault mode.
Absolutely. And now Elevate, they need to just group up together, make one solid push in towards this B site, because nobody's going towards A. You won't get that distraction that you saw through the last time. And look at the snaky player through the middle of the vents. It's Fusion able to find another huge 2-piece to shut down this push from Elevate one more time.
And it's something at the start of this game, Fusion went for the exact same thing. The only thing is there's enough time for Elevate to check their corners. You're down to 30 seconds now, so Elevate a little bit tunnel vision there. Misses out on Fusion, so allows them to get in behind. Slow this one down even more now, down to 20 seconds for Elevate to make something happen. As Hixie hops onto the A site, is looking to split the attention of Los Pepes. Exactly what he does. Well, they hop back onto the B site. He's just going to jump into the middle of the map now and look to play that cutoff man. And looks like Los Pepes are going to give him up another minute.
It's both teams we've seen do this now, where they've made a big individual play over towards A to shut down the clock and really distract the opposite team. Gonna get a split kill feed coming in through the middle of the map for now. And now with bids falling there, now this is the chance for Los Pepes. You guys need to absolutely just push forward and just try to pin all these players of Elevate back into their spawn.
And as it kills the first wave, went the way of Los Pepes. Second time around, Elevate finding some success. Torres, though, he's been that guy all game long, and you see Elevate, they don't even mind him. They just put their eyes to the point. They let him just stay back on that P1 side of the map, but you have to worry about him eventually, and exactly what he is doing. He's going to be splitting these players. 2 players from Elevate, going to be soaking up some time and some progression here. Ku hops on this point. Denza, big one-on-one, bids for 2. Zabuza finally clears him off of this side. Denza, the last one up, is going to hop out with the backup of Hixie. Brilliant team shots from themselves to hop back on this point. Now they're going to stack it. This is going to be scary for Los Pepes. They have to get back into this A site. Ku, though, Team Nate, Elevate wins out on attacking round. And exactly like you say, back-to-back attacking rounds, almost similar from these squads.
Yeah, and at the very end of that round, once Elevate breaks on into that hill, it's really almost impossible for Los Pepes to be able to get in before they get that final tick, because everybody has to run through those tiny choke points. They had absolutely every angle covered through middle of the map and through both arches and through that long laneway on on the A site, just absolutely able to shut it down for them. And I mean, just looking at this right now, the kills very even on both sides as well for the time being. But Los Pepes just slightly have that advantage in terms of slaying, but it's still going to be a 1-1 game here. As even with the man advantage in that last round, Elevate was able to close it out at the very end.
You got to give something to Torres, though. Did his deed at B, and he was playing it so well. Somehow sneaks across that place with 40 health. Loses out on Ku. But he's going to answer back on to Wee Man. No contest to the point. Hixie as well going to fall. Torres has just been the difference maker again and again for Los Pepes. So he's going to be gaining some progression here. You imagine Elevate's going to hop on to contest at some point, but the angles are checked and Los Pepes are winning their one-on-one. Torres for more. He just wants it all right now. 16-9 on another 3-speed, Jesse. Looking for more.
And you can see they put their full focus over towards A now, because they know, hey, you know what? We got one tick over towards B, but A is so much tougher for them to be able to get. And this time through, they're going to put all 3 players on. I don't even think Elevate's going to be able to touch this before it goes through. And it's exactly what the case is going to be. And now Elevate, they're just trying to play for exit kills here, trying to find all these players before they can get out. But Ku will find the last one. He can try to make his way out towards this next hill. But Elevate, they're going to have players there ready and early.
Such a heads-up play from Denza. Has to force the aggression, exactly what he does to the middle of the map. So forces Ku to get back and help his teammate, and that's giving Elevate the opportunity to group up and give themselves a little bit of positioning over the B-side pins. What was that with the Diamati? Some excellent shots for himself. And Los Pepes, what was an excellent heads-up play to split over to the A-side and cap it. Suddenly, Elevate's making some big one-on-one decision-making to keep them in this side for B.
Yeah, but the slaying difference right now for the side of Los Pepes, they've got a minute and a half. They can choose to just play back, try to find a few kills here. Finally, it will come down to right around 4 kills, but Ku in the top, he should be able to trade that out, but no. Oh my God, that was a disgusting gunfight run from Miski.
This is the flash right there, like a speeding bullet right past you. Hixie into green control, does lose his life eventually. No trades inbound for his team, and Los Pepes slowly, one by one, getting back onto the site, but Denza sneaks into the back line, gets a big kill off the spawn. Eventually, Abuza is going to pick up 2, including Denza, so they can point their arrows back towards the front of this hill. But like I said, the slaying is going to be so big between these two. Only a minute left as they stop the clock at B. Elevate has to play this perfectly because they don't want to lose out on too much. Facing no respawn danger zone. Hixie's going to be pushing through a bridge, but look at that Blair's just running away from him. That's Fusion, just trying to get out and dodge.
And now only a 3-life lead, and you can see Hiski's just trying to put himself in a very annoying position. Torres doing the exact same thing, where he's just going to sit underneath for the time being. And I mean, it's really going to be the battle of the flanks right now, and who's going to come out on top.
It was 21-15 in the kill margin. Now 9-6, making 8-5 as Torres hops onto this hill. You see, look at Hixie in the backline. He's going to be such a difference maker. Looking to be that cutoff player, but big heads-up play from Abuza. 17-14 for himself. He's going to hop in to back up his teammate. Now from the front, you're going to have to flood on in. No respawns for Elevate, but 6 lives for Los Pepes. Totally doable for either squad. Denza hops on with the trophy system to contest. Even swings out for a big one-on-one victory. And he can hop off too. No time being gained from Los Pepe here. Hixie jumps back into this backline. 3v3 here. Elevate scooping away with this one. Somehow, some way, still in this. 12 seconds left. Has to force Los Pepe's aggression. Hixie's just winning all the gunfights he can off screen. Bids takes a big one-on-one. Now Fusion all alone. I don't know how you fumble a bag this big, but if you're Los Pepes, you're writing the book on it.
I thought they had that round closed out once Torres made that big flank play underneath the vents. He was able to find the kill, open up the entire site, but it still wasn't enough when he found success doing that, and Hixie didn't find anything on his flank play. But somehow, some way, Elevate, they push out through the middle of the map, they find all the kills, they get a little bit more progression, and what was once, a 6-life lead for the side of Los Pepes ends up being Elevate closing it out at the end on lives alone with a 3-life lead. Crazy, crazy comeback from themselves there.
That stings if you're Los Pepes, because you're already down 2-0 in this series. You had not a good search and destroy either. And for that to happen as well, it was almost needed for your mental. But Elevate now looking to close out this series here. Back onto attack. As Los Pepes, they got to combine this. They got to take this defense win, send it to a round number 5. With a start like this, they are hot on the trails of Elevate to do exactly that.
Absolutely, and you can see Elevate now. They're just trying to make their push out through the middle of this map because they do not want to get pinned in the back of Dark right here. And Hixie's doing a great job just trying to push out, see if he can spot any of these players. But Torres, again, he has been such a thorn in the side of Elevate through this entire game. 25 and 16 right now, Seymour.
On a 5 spray, too. This guy, every single time we swap to him, he has some kind of streak in his hands, but he's just not able to get those last couple of kills needed for the artillery strike. In the fact, though, Fusions gets a big nade onto Hixie, and Ku keeps the frontal aggression forward for Los Pepes. Look at Abuza. I doubt anybody knows he's here. He's just been so quiet this whole time. He hasn't had to take a gunfight because his teammates have been winning everything. And Bids, player right over his shoulder to his right, finally gonna know he's there, but combines for a big 2-piece. And down to 20 seconds, Elevate has yet to even touch a point.
They can't even get close. Denzo's going to try to make a flank through the middle of the map, but sniffed out by Abuza once again. Only 10 seconds left here in this round. I think the one solid thing that you got to think about if you're Elevate here is at least you didn't give up streaks in this round for the time being.
It's definitely a highlight for the time being, though, as you would say. Los Pepes with a lights-out defensive round to keep their lives alive here in the series. And it's really all Torres. It's really all Torres right now.
Absolutely. I'm really interested to see who gets this last defense here because both those last 2 defenses have looked very, very strong. I feel like the closest way we're going to get a final round here is if we see Elevate here on defense because that last offense did not look very good for themselves at all. The differences from Los Pepes off the rip there were just so solid, and now we need to see it all over again. Elevate this time through, back on offense one more time. If we're going to see them win an offense here, they need to have a much cleaner, much faster, better break-off than what we saw in that last round.
And it was really that break off that really stunted them. I'm glad you highlighted that. As you know, I don't think it does justice to Los Pepes. They're only saying Torres because when Torres went down, just everybody else was there to back him up. I imagine they are just hype in their comms at the moment to keep them in this. Stunted to keep it to send it to a map number 4, but they have to win this round. And so far, it's been a lot better from Elevate here, keeping Los Pepes tamed on their defense.
The only time we've seen Elevate win their offense is when we really saw a big individual play towards that A site. They sat one player over there, and it brought all the distraction towards B. They were able to cap it, then transition over towards A. Last time through, they weren't even able to get close towards one of these hills, and it feels like they're playing very staggered right now. They found the first blood very quickly onto this game, and right now they're just playing to find kills, and find kills they do. They'll get 4 in a row, and now they can hop onto this B site.
But they're not stacking the site, so Los Pepes, they can group up, look for a clear towards A, and then hop back on it. So Elevate exactly playing the same way Los Pepes did on their last attack, going back to the A site, but a split feed is going to be so good for Los Pepes. They are able to clear it out. Now Ku looking to clear out that B site. He isn't ready for Hixie to play that frontal aggression. Hixie goes to transition back over to elbow, but 2 players laying in wake to clear him off of that, and they don't get the cap either. So Los Pepes are going to look to deny any progression that was just gained from Elevate.
And Elevate, they do have a life lead right now, but only of 2 lives, so definitely nothing to be too crazy about for the time being. And they just need to try to find their way forward. Bids will be the furthest player up. He does end up falling as well, but I mean, this is just, they're in such a tough spot right now. I really wish they would have just full stacked onto that B site and capped the site instead of trying to split their focus, because it's really going to hurt them at this stage of the round.
Well, need to see some of that magic that got them this far, Los Pepes. 30 seconds now in this round 5 for their defense, and Elevate, they made the right call for going to A, but when it was push come to shove, Los Pepes just out-aggressed them in that sense. Denza finds an opening, hops onto the site to back it up. They're going to be gaining progression. They stack it into it. It's looking to push through elbow. A team kill from Torres, and the trade for Denza is going to put that second tick in, working on the third. Los Pepes give it up. They're going to be setting up for A.
And just going back to the earlier part of the round, I feel like when you get a 4 down and you don't get a site cap off of that, especially when the 4 down is in the middle of the map, that's pretty rough right there for the side of Elevate. They do finally, like you said, cap that B site. Now they need to put their focus in towards back hobble, trying to just sniff out these players and force them to spawn out deep.
Cheeky little position from Torres. Swings wide onto Biz after seeing him through the tracks. What a shot on the Denza to clean him up from behind. You gotta grant some to the teammate there for hitting him that weak. And Fusions gets a third as well. Wee Man now the farthest pushed up into Brace. They know exactly where he is as the hunt is on to clear out Wee Man. Los Pepe's doing a solid job at shutting down Elevate again and again. They just gotta worry about these sudden bursts of energy that Elevates tend to find. And right now, looking for that again. Bins for the first, Denza for the second one. Coup breaks even, and Los Pepe's withstand.
With all these players, even though they're standing so tall, it's been Abuza inside the hill over and over again, just doing a great job for the side of Los Pepes and shutting this push down. And with them being able to clear out their spawn now and only 35 seconds left, Elevate need to make a choice. They have one more shot at trying to hit this from the back. Otherwise, it's going to have to be hits from the front only from that point on.
100%. And Fusions might be able to catch Denza off here. He has seeped his way into the middle of the map now, dancing around these crates as they are passing each other the back. Turns his back to him. Somehow lived for that long, but Denza's still able to clean him out. Torres raining terror from behind, being such a nuisance in behind. And on site, like you say, the man, proud and tall, Abuza here to jump up onto the platform, finds Wee Man, finding a second on a Hixie, literally doing it all, has the artillery strike too, but only 10 seconds. You have to look at the push from the front line as you're looking for the contention from Bids for Dens to make his way into the back line. Big two-piece for themselves, but what a nade from Coup. Takes down 4 of them to close out for Los Pepes to stay alive in this series. Amazing from Los Pepes.
I feel like that was just one of those rounds where they just had absolutely no way that they could lose that round with the way that they were set up inside the hill. Yes, the final of that with Coup being able to find 4 is insane, but I think you got to put that one onto the back of just Abuza by himself on that side over and over again as all his teammates fall around him. He was the one solid for Los Pepes over and over again on that site, finding every single kill he could to just win the trade outs for the side of Los Pepes for them to clean up that last final round there.
Time and time again, you count Los Pepes out and they stay alive. So force a map number 4 in this series. If we take a look at our maps and modes, we can see where we are headed to. I'm pretty sure it is going to be checkmate hardpoint for this map. We saw one earlier go to the way of the unfavored team as well. So we can see if that's going to stay true with Los Pepes here. And trying to force that map number 5 now for the reverse sweep with Moscow. Talk to me a little bit about this series because things are heating up and Los Pepes finally waking.
I mean, that garrison control, them taking that is so huge because now they head in towards a hard point on checkmate where they're 3-1. They're very good at this map mode combo. And I mean, I'm not surprised at all with how good you see Torres Torres and Coup being those 2 submachine gun players for this team. If they can get the plane control the way that they were able to lock down green and lock down lights throughout that entire round, I can absolutely see them being able to run away with this hard point. But again, they are going up against Elevate, and we can never sleep on these Elevate guys, especially when it comes to hard point. They are 2-0 on checkmate hard point for themselves here. So again, I think like we saw in that first game where it was a 250 to 226 for Elevate, and it was just haymaker after haymaker being thrown from both teams, comebacks being very close. I think it's going to be one of those same exact looking maps for this same mode.
And like I said, I mean, you can't count out these Dark Horse teams, Cruz, because, I mean, you look at the last series, it was Elevate who lost Amelia Strays for that first place spot in stage number 3. And now Los Pepes putting some fight against them as well here. As must be in the back of their heads a little bit as again and again that this is happening to the Elevate rosters. They're just so short from victory. But looking, like you said, you can't really count them out on a map like a checkmate hardpoint. It's been in here for this long, and you imagine that these teams are going to be practiced as ever, and they're going to waste no time but to get back in here. Ladies and gentlemen, you're just tuning in. It's the EU Call of Duty Challengers Stage 4 bracket play, whereas Los Pepes looking to even up the odds against Elevate and possibly face knock Elevate down into the knockout bracket heading into playoffs as well. So things are on the line for this matchup. Los Pepes looking to do some miracle work.
Well, I mean, do we think Elevate's going to get knocked down to the bracket now at 4-1? I think it'd be pretty tough for them to get knocked down to that bracket, but definitely Los Pepes are going to be looking to try to, climb their way back up into maybe not being in the knockout bracket for themselves. I think would be a little bit better of a way to look at this one, but still, like you said, the reverse sweep definitely on the cards here. Los Pepes have every chance in the world. The issue is they're going to have to try to win a search and destroy at the end, even if they take this map mode combo.
Yeah, right off the rip, Los Pepes with the favorable spawns, but what are those shots from Hixie downrange not missing? Is he going to come out with the kill, but he's going to provide some opening for his teammates to back them up, and Fusion's going to sniff that one out and catch him off as the flood comes in through the wing. Fusion's in queue for 3. Los Pepes force their way back into the plane, and they are going to hold strong.
And Los Pepes, they hold on to the right side of the minimap spawns exactly what they want, as well as the last 20 seconds of this hill can absolutely still be going their way right now, because Hixie, he needs to, and the rest of Elevate, they need to try to push in towards these tight corners. They will finally get on in, so should be around a 10-second lead for the side of Elevate at the end of this hill, but you can see Los Pepes, they are set up and waiting for them over towards P2.
Well, Taurus, again, being a nuisance was so pivotal inside that control. Now into the hardpoint, lead to the exact same thing. Pushes to the plane, finds a big two-piece. Fusion catches off the rotation from Weeman, cleans up their spawn now. Looking for a little bit more map control over towards the crates. And has actually passed the player. He's going to be hunted down by Hixie. 2 kills now in favor of Elevate. Gives them the go-ahead to put some pressure on this hill. And the slide comes in through. Biz cleans up Abuza in the corner, and even Tools as well going the way of Elevate. So they get some spawn kills. They can hop right back on there. One of those shots had to be weak there. Fusion gets in. Almost finds Abuza as well, but Los Pepes keeping this one interesting, and Elevate. Wow, that is the power that they have behind them.
And this is what we saw in the first hardpoint between these two teams as well. As we saw every time that Los Pepes was set up early for a hill, Elevate was able to bounce back in and at least contest for a good amount of time, or get a good amount of time for themselves, like we're seeing here. But when Elevate gets set up and fully set up and ready on a hill, it was so tough for Los Pepes to be able to get on into the hill for themselves and even just contest for some time. So that's something that we need to look for Los Pepes to be able to do, is hold on to a solid amount of time once they get those setups, and we haven't seen it yet.
3 more down for Los Pepes. Rotations in the hand of Elevate. If they clean out Coup, they're going to be looking for some time here. Weeman gets that kill, and the hop on for Elevate to soak up some of the middle third hill. You don't see a lot of progression here, but with the kills going your way like they are for Elevate, you'd imagine that they're going to sit pretty on this as long as they can. Now crossing over 60 points. You see Hixie on a 5 spree with this SMG, hops on out to play for the streaks as well. Smart play from himself gives him 6. He plays for these streaks, which is brilliant from himself. Fusions goes for the trade. That's the artillery strike. Could it be solidified for this player in his back pocket? Now working for the cruise missile, and Abuza not even realizing it. That's full streaks for Hixie.
I think the only solid you could take away from this is for Los Pepes is like, yeah, you gave up streaks. It sucks, but I mean, at least it's streaks on this map mode, which is just one of the harder ones to use in itself. He's already going to drop the artillery strike in as well, and he's not able to find anything out of it there. So does end up pushing the players off the hill, but really not that many players were that close for Los Pepes anyways.
Even number 7, Fusions gets caught off of the rotation. Biz gonna be that. Los Pepes forced back into the P2 spawns, as they're gonna have to make a race for control here. Hixie has the right awareness, but Coup, brilliant shots to give him control, as Weeman now looking to fill the gap that was left from his teammate. Fusion's gonna lose his one-on-one, but the trade is there. Now looking for the collapse on site from the middle wing. Coup hopping down. So much damage spread across the board, but Elevate yet to find some important kills. Danza for 2, though. Torres once again coming out big for his team. Only problem is that it's too little too late, and you're really playing for scrap time here. Los Pepes in a terrible position for checkmate.
Absolutely awful position, like you were saying, because not only are they only playing for scrap time here, and they're not even getting the scrap time, it's very contested, but also if you look at Elevate, they have got the setup going down towards P5 now. You have one player inside the hill, the rest of the players set up and ready to see if they try to cross, and Los Pepes, they're going to be running into a firing range.
Well, Weeman on the right at Buza, he has to guess this, but now he doesn't. Weeman makes himself known, taking down Fusions, but the team shots from Torres once more, as he's literally trying to do too much for his team, and that's going to cost him a little bit. And now Elevate taking their lead so far. Los Pepes down by 80, as they have to make a considerable comeback from this. But we know checkmate, we've seen it before, and if you can link together points 1 and 2, it is totally not out of the picture.
It's definitely not out of the picture, but like we said earlier in this game, Elevate, they're doing a great job of when they get the rotations down pat, they're holding on to them and getting a good amount of time. Los Pepes, they haven't been able to get a good chunk of time, and it was really their P2 where they could have climbed their way back into this game, even though they weren't down at that point. And you got to think, if they get a full 60 on that hill, they're probably tied up with Elevate right now, but instead Elevate contest, then they get full 60 after full 60 for themselves, and now the rotation on back towards P1, and Elevate has made the rotation again.
Every single kill red in the kill feed. You do get split by Abuza, but is that enough? Your teammate's spawning so far away from you. You are going to have a pinch, but you just need to stay alive until that comes into fruition. Denza can lose the one-on-one to Abuza, still splitting the difference between these spawns for Elevate, as they are spawning into the back bottom left of the minimap. They're going to have to rush for plane control once more, clear out Fusions and co. and then push for spawns towards P2. And Torres going down, gonna be the go-ahead to hop into the site. Congestion in, the pinch is solid. 3 more down for Los Pepes, and Elevate so clean on the retakes.
And now if you're Los Pepes, you got to be looking at P2 like an absolute must hold for 60 seconds here as they look to rotate over. It will be an early setup again for themselves here, but Denza and co from Elevate just trying to make their push in from the front.
A little bit too aggressive from Torres there as chokehold held tight from Hixie now. Hardpoint's gonna pop. Players inside yellow. Booza tagged up from the nade. Does come out with a kill onto Hixie, but the trades once again towards Elevate, and they get the spawn flip. So 3 players gonna be on site for Elevate here, looking to spread out for the map control. Denza is not losing these gunfights so far, and even when he is, he's just gonna back up and let his teammate take control of it. Hixie gonna take out Torres. It's crossing the 200 marker, a whole 140 lead right now. Denza still alive on the site, wreaking terror. 2 streak for himself, but a minute 19 and counting in these hard points, as they might not be able to win on this hard point, but they are going to put themselves damn close.
Absolutely. And I mean, they will finally get on into the hill if you're those Pepes here with 15 seconds left. And what's that going to get you to? Right around the 80-point mark, as long as it doesn't get contested from Elevate in these last back 10. And so they will be able to get out. But the issue with pushing so far forward is now Elevate's actually just going to spawn out as well. So definitely not the worst case scenario for Elevate. You lose those back 15, but now you get the spawns on the right side where you want them, and now you can try to set up for a win on P3.
Even you remember this P3 last time around. It's not a hill that you usually see teams get a lot of time on, but Elevate, with the kills that they're getting, they're just allowed to get as much as they want. This time around, Los Pepes putting up quite the fight. You do see some kills going their way, and now getting 3 in a row is going to allow them to take some map control over towards the 4th hill as well. Booza putting that 4th player down in bids, but you got to play for the long game here, and you're looking at Hixie still holding on to that cruise missile. Inside this plane control, traded out by Fusions. Just biding their time, Elevate. It's exactly what we saw on the side of Garrison Hardpoint.
Abuza, this could be the chance for those Pepes to try to make their way back into this game. On 5 in a row, needs to try to keep that streak going for himself. Ku as well on 4. Both these players, if one or both could find streaks, it would be so huge for themselves here. I believe that Abuza falls, so it's really up to Ku. Ku needs to find streaks on this live.
And look at Los Pepes. They've realized the spawn's coming out from P2. They turn their attention all the way to the right side of the mini-map. Playing for streaks here for both of them. 5 for Ku here, waiting underneath this plane, but that's the cruise missile here. Invested on the most open hill. Ku goes down, so no streaks. Looking to open it up, but the cruise missile can amount to nothing either. Kills go back and forth for these squads. Elevate finds themselves soaking up some time. Denza, Fusion's even caught off by Wee Man, but Ku makes his way back on in, really being a hero this time around, but does get traded out from these teams. The amount of spam coming through these players. Wee Man as well down distance with that Craig. Found another one. Everything turning up Elevate so far. All the kills going red in that feed. As Abuza once more hops onto this hill. Diamante to Wee Man. Bids as well. Back and forth. 15 seconds to put this one away. And Elevate moments away from taking the series.
They can still win it here on this map. And I mean, with only 10 seconds left, a split spawn will come in. So player 7, it's all up to him. He needs to touch just to contest. I don't think that was for long enough, though. Oh, they got off, though.
2 seconds left. You're seeing another hill, but look who's there first. It's Abuza and Ku. You got Hixie in the backline over the half wall. Hops on in for the contention. Ku comes out with a big one-on-one. Fusions to back him up. Somehow Los Pepes hold on to this.
Oh my god. I feel like Elevate, they just hopped off that hill. If they would have stayed on, they would have won the game on that hill. But it's the exact same situation we saw ourselves as in map 1. Elevate 2 seconds away, and Los Pepes are basically 3 hills away from being able to win this game. They need to make sure they pin every hill back to back to back perfectly and not allow Elevate to get a second here.
They are scraping away as they till the land to make sure that they're inside this checkmate. Still, as a whole 100-point comeback would be insane on a map like Checkmate. Unheard of on a map like Checkmate, but Los Pepes looking to do just that. But take a look at Elevate. They know this. They know the situation they're in. They've rotated all the way to P1. They're setting up for this plane control, and they're giving up the situation that Los Pepes has. It's going to be up to Abuza here and Ku to break on in. Contestion's going to be here. Abuza one-on-one. Shot punch is not going to come out, but the follow-up from Ku is going to be inside, and somehow they are still doing it. Ku's back on a 5 spree, and they are soaking up this hill.
That pinch was so perfect. Ku finds 2 through the middle of the map. Abuza finds 1 through the front side of the plane, and they're able to find out a few kills for themselves here. And Ku finds streaks now as well. And he wins the one-on-one in the hill.
Absolutely insane. Such individual skill coming out from Ku here on Checkmate. Now Fusion just has to stay alive for his team while the reinforcements come in tandem. So much shots throughout this paper thin walls. We know how Checkmate is, and Fusion is going to jump on through to go to the way of Los Pepes, but they're losing out of the gun phase from a distance. Ku has to hop in here, but playing on the off angle. Denza back and forth. Torres still finding out of 15 kills here, but once again, you're in a situation where you see Elevate backing up towards those P2 spawns, and this is where those streaks come out for Ku.
The streaks are coming in, but they will be set up inside that crate. That's the only issue, is that you can win from inside the crate. They do contest on in the hill right now. It's Fusion's one
No way!
and he wins it again.
Oh, and their trades there too. Ku gets in for this. Absolutely insane from Los Pepes. I am stumbling over this. This is insane. As Torres off screen here, this is winnable for Los Pepes to force a map 5 Moscow from the crate though. Big one-on-one from Hixie. Fusions to back up his teammate. You look at those two players behind the map. It's Wee Man with his duo. 3 kills towards Elevate. They're collapsing on this hill. Fusions just has to stay alive here. Forces towards Hixie. Turns his sights to the back line. Denza on the site. Everything turns up. Los Pepes down to 10 seconds. Wee Man hops on. Torres still alive though. 20 seconds into this hill. 8 seconds needed to win out on this point. It's go time for Elevate to hop back in. Suddenly, we are masking a 2-point lead for both teams. Ku's in this hill. Diamante's not going to turn up and Elevate. Fusion, the shot punch and Elevate somehow wins it out. What a game. 250 to 247. That was a 160-point lead at one point.
That would have been the most insane comeback I have ever seen on this game. That was not only a 160-point comeback, but they also needed 2 seconds through 4 hills, and they almost lost that. Oh my God, that was just picture perfect Call of Duty from the side of Los Pepes as that game was coming down towards the end. Unfortunately, they lose out on that last gunfight, because in that last one-on-one, if they win that one-on-one, they would have won the map, and I would have lost my absolute marbles, Seymour. That was insane.
I was ripping out my hair at what was happening. It was almost a breakdown for Elevate. It just shows what Los Pepes has to bring to the elites this stage, and it is incredible hard point to be seen. And just imagine, play that back in a situation where they're playing that hot from the get-go. A total different story, but the thing is, they gave up a little bit too much to begin with, and the comeback was just too big, too out of reach to get there. I mean, 3-point difference. Let's take a look at those maps and modes for a recap of this. That was quite the end to the series. Map number 1, 250 to 226. It was where we first initially saw Elevate come out with a big hardpoint win. Map number 2, as expected, a 6-2 win on Express towards Elevate, as it's not the best situation for Los Pepos to go to in a map number 2. But that map 3, right down to the bone. So much just stabilization for the defensive, so much fortitude for the side of Los Pepes to force that map number 4 in. I mean, the difference was huge for that map number 4 checkmate, but what a battle. What a showing for Los Pepes. And they're going to sadly drop to a 4-4 standing for themselves in the bracket for the side of Challenger Elite Stage 3. And Elevate, they're going to prop themselves up 5-1, having quite the run so far. Looking dangerous.
I think if you're looking at this series just as a whole, it's got to come down to the hard points being the reason why Elevates takes this series over Los Pepes. And both hard points were so close, but it's really, if Los Pepes doesn't fall behind so far, so early on in both games, you got to think, hey, if they don't have to make these massive comebacks where they can only allow 2 points towards the back half of the game, they can put themselves in a spot where they can absolutely win and take this series. But unfortunately for them, they're not going to do it. And now they're going to fall to 3-3, like you said. And they're going to be in such a tough spot now, because I feel like at this point, you got to win out if you don't want to be in that play-in bracket.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to the bracket for these, because things are tight between the European challengers. Kind of fury that you're seeing as they came into this with 4 players tied up 2-2 into this day number 3. Elevate basically solidifies himself a secure spot for the playoffs going through that, and Los Pepes looking for the knockout bracket now. You take a look over at the mainstream as well, as they're going to be hopping in with Maverick versus Team War over at youtube.com/COD Challengers. So hop over there. That's going to be it from us for the EU community stream. It was such a pleasure. We'll see you later for some NA Challengers right here on youtube.com/IHOLDSHIFT.
I suppose I ignored every warning. Stepped unhealthily close to the edge. Oh, but I can't recall when I started to hate all the things that used to give me bliss. Can you please stay tonight? 'Cause I'm sure that this dream again. It scared me half to death. I guess I'm not over it. Feels like a heart attack. Could this breath be my last? Is this how it ends? But if I make my head stop spinning, will my heart stop too? Lost myself trying to hold on to you. Where are you tonight? I can't get you out of my mind. Where are you tonight? 'Cause I still feel like I could fly right. Where are you tonight? And if I set the scene inside a memory, I feel you breathing. But I'm a masochist, hit me like 1,000 bricks. But you're up and I'm down and I'm wondering if my head stops spinning, will my heart stop too? Lost myself trying to hold on to you. Where are you tonight? I can't get you out of my mind. Where are you tonight? 'Cause I still feel like I could fly right. Where are you tonight? Where are you tonight? Have I seen you for the last time? Am I moving with the low tide? Am I a shadow in your headlights? Or am I writing it out right? Am I a shadow in your headlights? Where are you tonight? I can't get you out of my mind. Where are you